Here we go. Welcome to another one for Week of Dungeons and Dungeons. We are actually forced to return to the Fandolin crew, the Chosen, because so much time has passed with the other crew. What we now find our Chosen crew doing is traveling back to the rallying point, multiple days journey into the north, and well, just to the north or just south of the northern border inside Freya, where they are meeting with the Waterdeep armies, the northern armies, and the Shinryu armies.
Oh, yeah.
Just before,
I forgot that happens.
They're gonna be so cool.
Oh man, the Cobalt wolves are screwed. The Shinryu are here.
Let's go.
For the assault on Neverwinter. The crew finds themselves within the meeting chambers, currently having the plan explained to everybody by Brine, the King of the North.
Wait, Brian's here? What is she doing here?
She is recovered. It's been more than a month.
Oh yeah.
Brine will be leading
Kidding
her
me?
soldiers.
Brian was 100% after one day. She was good.
She wasn't.
Dude, Brian was 100%.
No, she was good.
Minute.
1 minute, she was good.
Yeah.
She was set.
She never wasn't good. She was always still good.
She was never not good.
Inside these makeshift tents, you can feel the warmth inside the forest just north of Neverwinter, overlooking the city by a few miles. You don't have a clear look of it, but you can see where the cliffs start to push up as Neverwinter is up on the coast itself, as you will see in the many depictions from Forgotten Wet Realms. Brine has a map laid out of the area in Neverwinter on the table. The generals, General Corrin, first general of the First Army for the North, is there. Blackstaff is there. Salem is there. Calgary is there. Anastasia is there. All three of the commanding officers of the Grey Hand of each area is there. The Shinryu, you have the top three leaders of the Shinryu there, which are cloaked, and what you can see is basically, think Sub-Zero and Scorpion attire. That is what they are covered in purples, and I think purples and silvers, I believe. The leader, who you met previously, was Haru Linryu, and two individuals stand by his side, a Rei Tretrasa and Shatoshi Soul are the other two next to him, both in not as... their clothing are pretty modest, but you can tell there's like extra color marks inside Haru's versus Rei and Satoshi, showing rank, and clearly that he is over in rank on them. There is the leader of the Waterdeep Guard inside this room, and there are the two of the leaders of the northern houses are inside here as well, and of course all of you, the Chosen. As Brian explains to you, this is the current plan. She points out that the first objective is to divert focus from the front line of the battle. The main entry will be difficult for everyone to storm into. We can't get in by sea necessarily. So the best way to fool our enemies to think we are coming in the front door is to distract them by coming in the front door. We are sending the Linryu ships, and Jarlax is also present as well, and Jaqualdin. We will be sending ships by sea. There are about 40,000 Linryu soldiers that are going to be coming from the backside of the waters into Neverwinter. We have the northern druids are going to the word for it is stone shape the side of the cliffs to help all those forces come out the back where they believe they are safe, where Neverwinter thinks they have geography on their side. We're going to take that away from them, but we need to distract them long enough so that is not the case. We also don't want any ships escaping, so a blockade of Neverwinter will occur. The blockade will be a feint for the invasion that will inevitably come from the cliffside. What's going to be difficult is to get through the main gate. That is what the Chosen are for. The Chosen will be teleported by Blackstaff to the ramparts and fight their way to the main gate. Once they open the main gate, we will then have the main forces push through into the city. The Chosen will stay put and hold their position to keep the gates open while the front line is pushed deeper and deeper into the city. The goal and objective of this assault is to capture or kill Dazgalt Nevermember, the current leader of Neverwinter, given by Escott Grandier for his aid in the murder of the royal families of Freya. Once the armies have pushed the front line deep enough into the city, it is up to the Chosen to follow the ramparts to the back half of the city to aid in getting the Lin Ryu into the city and their reinforcements. Once the Lin Ryu are into the city and there is no escape, we will begin encircling the Cobalt forces. For the final objective, we will punch through the center of the Cobalt forces that we have surrounded to create two bubbles. During those encirclements, we'll have a path forward, and this will allow us to cut off their communications, and it will cut their forces in half. And then we will dispatch what is left of these two remaining circles as we slowly close down on the Cobalt forces inside the city. Any questions?
None from the Chosen.
Right on. Then we all know our tasks, and we will begin our siege on Neverwinter. This is it. This is the make or break of the war. This is where we finally take the fight to the Cobalt Wolves and push them back. There is acknowledgement, a bit of somberness to the talk, but excitement throughout the air. It feels electric as there is a road to the end of the war, potentially in front of everybody standing inside here and in the lands. A war that has lasted nearly 3.5 years to the date, exhausting the people of Atul, and a reprieve maybe on the horizon if they can take Neverwinter. Okay, before the invasion of Neverwinter happens on tomorrow's dawn, is there anything everybody wants to do?
I'm gonna set my 3 weapons down somewhere, and I'm just gonna be looking at them, just like, which one to choose, which one to start with.
You feel a hand on your shoulder as you see, as you turn and see the smiling grin of Brine as she sees you admiring your weapons. So she goes, "Trying to pick one to use?"
Yes, I mean, I never expected to have this problem. I've always just had my trusty axe, but now I've so many goodies to choose from.
Well, my advice would be choose whatever would work best against evil. The Cobalt Wolves will have one of their generals present inside the city who has helped rule Neverwinter. One of the last remaining of these wolf pack.
Well, there's definitely an option for taking out evil, undead, fiend stuff.
Maybe use that then.
Oh, thank you. That's good advice.
Not a problem at all. I'm excited to see all of you in action and finally be a part of fighting the good cause again.
You'll be joining us.
Most certainly, it's been long enough I've been on the sidelines.
Ah, I am beyond excited to have you grace the battlefield with us.
The honor is mine, as each of you have saved the day countless times, and this is finally my chance to start repaying back the debt I owe you and the North.
Well, I'm certainly excited to have you back by our side as well. You'll get to see us try out some of our new toys. And I just hold up Kageyumi.
You see her smile.
I'll hold up the other two.
Her eyebrows raise. It seems like all of you have been outfitted quite well since I last saw you all.
Mm-hmm.
We found a cave.
You found all this in just a cave?
Yep. Hard
If
to
you-
believe, I know.
If the forces of nature are not on your side, no one can convince me otherwise. There are no truths left in this world.
Actually, Brian, does the name Elion Perry ring a bell to you?
Elian Perry... I thought that I've heard whispers of that in our briefings, and of my discussions with Waterdeep. I believe that's something the Blackstaff mentioned in passing in one of our conversations. You might be able to get more information from her.
Well, supposedly these crossbows were wielded by the Ranger Champion for the God of War, and that was apparently a drow individual who was leading lizard folk and minotaur alike against this Elion Perry's forces. So I thought you might know maybe who the individual was or something, but if you don't know, then you don't know. That's fine.
She comes closer and examines the bows. There was a ranger champion in myth and legend, far, far beyond my time. Something we learned about deep within the earth in which we were raised. He was an outlier of sorts because in our society it's a matriarchy, and most of the men don't necessarily do as much of the fighting as many of the women are more trained into the arcane arts and ways of war. Not to say that the men don't stand
Oh,
guard.
no, I understand. Oh, let me tell you. I'm all about that. That's fine.
But this was always a legend we thought to be fake. Something to get spirits hopeful for a world beyond our own. This is wonderful. Wonderful. If these are truly his, then our world, the drow are not at the mercy of Loth. And that is the greatest gift anyone could hear.
I was just trying to learn some more information about these bows. I didn't realize they had such a deep meaning to you and your kin.
They mean freedom.
Then I will wield these as such and use them as such.
She puts her hands on your hands that are holding the crossbows in each, and she smiles and goes, "It couldn't be in better hands."
Bologna is blushing. She was not used to compliments of that magnitude from such an important person.
She removes her hands from yours and she looks at all of you smiling. You should probably at some point before tomorrow morning reacquaint yourself with the Blackstaff so you're on the same page for the plans. That would probably be best.
That's good. Where is the Blackstaff?
She would be in her tent, and she points a little a ways away as there's a bunch of war tents temporarily set up on the side. It's this cliffside and forest is overseeing this long beach, and you just see ships as far as the horizon can go. It feels like yin yang, but these are your ships. This is your front, and it goes as far as the horizon, and you just see beautiful flags all across of Waterdeep, of Jarlax, of Qualden, of the Shinryu, and of the North.
Nice.
Oh, the Shinryu are gonna be so cool!
I'm going to approach Ulazal, actually.
Sure.
With a blade.
And I stab him.
Time to throw my notes out.
How are you in regards to your magic items? I have this stone that can provide some extra protection, but I don't know if you are fully... you are at capacity with regards to that.
I feel that I have all that I can handle right now. All of the embarrassment of riches that was in that cave seemed to put me over the top.
Oh.
Embarrassment, he says. How embarrassing.
Is there anything you need?
I'm pretty well off, but this stone, out of character, it gives +1 to AC.
Oh, bro,
So-
my AC is 21. We're good.
I wanted to make you more disgusting, but because you are the healer.
Don't ask me to make an intelligence save.
Then I will hold on to this for the time being.
You've come a long way, Ari. To think that it could be over in a few weeks.
That's all I can hope for.
After all this time, we finally have a chance for justice to be restored. Maybe the world becomes more balanced again.
That's the hope. Let's see. Reed, just to reiterate.
Yeah.
So from our side,
Yep.
our objectives, could we just run through them real quick? It was
Absolutely.
It was open the gate,
Yep.
and then it
Hold
was
the gate.
hold the gate for
Yep.
forces to come through,
Yep.
and then what?
Battle along the ramparts to get to the backside of the city to aid the Lin Ryu into the city. There are druids that are going to be trying to stone shape a basically stairway up the crags into the back of the city for the reinforcements to get in.
Okay.
You know where it is.
We're just helping everyone get in.
We are the
Basically.
gatekeepers.
And then the final objective is to aid in the final push through the middle. This will help cut the army in half, and then you'll be able to encircle them.
Boom.
And it'll be just that easy.
Oh, it depends on your
No
rolls.
Let's
There won't
just
suddenly be any gay astros wandering the
And
streets.
what was?
pincer maneuvers.
Remind me of the first name of this Nevermember.
Dazgalt Nevermember.
Is that the father?
That is the father of Rainier Nevermember.
Oh, that
Yeah,
fuck.
that asshole.
Oh. So we probably actually said that. Oh,
Gross.
his father really is a shit.
There's only one or two wolf pack left, right?
There are 2 Wolfpack left.
Yeah.
Two?
We don't
Okay.
have any information about them.
Did she say we knew one was here?
Yeah.
We know one is here.
One was here.
Extent of our knowledge.
That's the
You
extent.
could ask her for more information about the wolf that's here.
Who would we be asking, Brian?
Yeah.
Brian, you mentioned that there's potential that we could encounter one of the wolf pack in the past these have been quite formidable foes. Do you have any information that would help us in this fight?
Yes, the information we gathered about this individual is the last two remaining members of the wolf pack are Escott's right and left hands, both of which are casters. So we are on the high alert with our anti-casting gray hand from Waterdeep. Are going to be trying to single out and find this wolf pack member and nullify their powers. We believe the one inside the city is a wizard, and we believe the other one is a warlock.
Thank you. That should help me prepare.
Most certainly.
He's probably just squishy then.
I don't know. I'm a caster and I'm not that squishy.
He's a wizard.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's what I wanted to have. It's a cup real quick.
So do we want to see the black staff now? Probably before it gets too late, since we're leaving early.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Brian, I look forward to seeing you on the battlefield.
She gives you the classic grabbing of the forearms, and she goes, "And I, you, Maznel, may the forces of nature be at your back." And she wishes you the best of luck, and she exits waving to all of you with a smile on her face, her crescent dawn blade by her side glowing as she walks out, and her sworn next to her that were waiting outside guide her to the next place as they are prepping for the battle.
All right. Heading over to Blackstaff.
All right, as you guys head over to the Blackstaff tent, the Grey Hand meet you, and you can see there's an individual outside the tent that has these goggles on, and it's looking you up and down. And he goes, "They're good," and they allow you guys through. And as you get in there, you see Blackstaff and Salem, Calgary, and Anastasia all talking inside the room. And you see Blackstaff look up and go, "I thought..." They both have the same accent, so live with it. "I knew you would be coming later on today. Good to see each and every one of you."
Hello, hello.
"So it is our pleasure, or mine alone, that I will be getting you up into the ramparts, and you are going to cause havoc."
Oh, I love
What
havoc.
we do best.
We excel at that.
Excellent. As she looks over to the other three in the room, and you see them, each of them nodding in accordance. Salem walks over to you guys, and he embraces you, Masno, both on the sides, and he smiles to all of you. John just sent me a text that distracted me. I thought he said St. Mount Helens erupted just now, and I was like, "Excuse me?" And he said,
Again?
He goes, 40 years ago today. Right. Excellent. Yes, that is true. Very good. Very good.
Oh my gosh.
So, he looks at you. It's like, "We are so close to having that wonderful celebration party in Waterdeep. This is the next step to taking back your land, our lands. I cannot wait for this to be over. I wish you all the best of luck, and I will be looking from the shadows for any of these Cobalt imposters, these Cobalt naysayers, to try and make sure they have the most unpleasant of times. No more surprises."
Yes.
I know the plan is to coordinate our mission with you. My one question being that, so our initial plan is to arrive at the gate and open it so that the initial forces can make their way in.
Mm-hmm.
At what point, what signal should we be looking for to notify us that we need to move to our secondary objective to help the Lin Ryu in?
You see Calgary come over and smile as he hands over a flare gun to you, and he goes, we will be shooting one of our own when we have made the proper front lines. Look to the sky when you see green and white in the air. You'll know we've taken the first half of the city.
Okay.
You can now add a it's a gray hand flare gun. It has one use right now, and it shoots the green and white twist flares.
So are we supposed to shoot those into the air once we leave our post?
You should shoot those into the air once the Lin Ryu have made it into the city. That way we know to start with the next phase of the plan.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Blackstaff looks to you. Once I have you all teleported onto the top of the ramparts, I will be rejoining my armies to aid them in their combat as well. So it will be all up to you to make sure the gate gets open. I will be far too exposed to fight on top of the ramparts.
You can count on us.
All right. Is there anything else you want to ask the Blackstaff before you take your leave?
Anything we should be... do you have any knowledge regarding either this Dazgolt Nevermember or the wolf pack that seems to be here? Anything that might help us identify them?
Regrettably or unregrettably, we know quite a lot about Dazgolt Nevermember. He used to be one of the open lords of Waterdeep, and he betrayed Waterdeep for money. Hid and embezzled quite a fortune inside the city, and fled to the Cobalt Alliance like the coward he is for protection. Rewarded for his malfeasance and his misguided deeds and corruption, he now rules over Neverwinter. He's bald, similar to Marsnell here, and has quite a beard, nowhere close to as magnificent as Marsnell's, deep dark brown. He can be found in noble attire. He typically wears cobalt blues and silvers, but he has his own tackiness of golds all throughout. He stands about 5'10" in stature. He is stocky, muscular, and has his fair share of scars across his arms. Those should all be able to help you identify him.
Is he a fighter himself? Does he
No,
battle?
He is a coward, and if you find him, he will not be able to fight back against you. I am certain.
What about this remaining wolf pack? It sounds like we've been making quite a workout on on his right hand flank.
Most certainly, thanks to your counterparts, back in Waterdeep, we had 3 of the wolf pack fall when they tried to invade Waterdeep. An action only made out of their own arrogance, thinking they could change the war in but a night. This individual's name is... I got the name, but I need to check one thing.
The name!
Yay.
Valagaya is the individual, the wizard that resides inside Neverwinter. A practicer of dark arts and dark magic. He is not... I would not even consider him close to my equal when it comes to magic and wizardry. But he is formidable nonetheless, and not to be trifled with. If you can make short work of him, as fast as possible, there will hardly be any battle.
Sounds punchable. Just somebody you just want to go hit him.
Extremely punchable. Ralia cackles at the idea of this wizard being not Blackstaff's equal, and Ralia is along the lines of like, well, if he's not even the Blackstaff's equal, then he will be no match.
Sheesh.
Damn.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Yeah. Miss Cloudkill over there.
He has everything he told me today for how to play Ralia. Do you want to know what he said about one of his tactics?
What's his tactic?
Also, Cloudkill does not affect zombies/skeletons. Using them to lock people into the area and using Cloudkill could be devastating. I said, oh, that's super dope. He goes, my party members might comment that locking people into a room and gassing them is against the Geneva Convention, though.
Oh, jeez.
And I was just like, Jesus. That's what Luke's thinking about.
Damn.
You know, sometimes I got some questions about Luke.
Yep. Same.
He's going to be off doing whatever today, and he's going to be like, man, I wonder how many people I'm gassing to death right now.
You know, no one ever put it in those terms to me before, but it makes me worry when they do.
Oh, jeez.
Sheesh.
All right, you guys are having this conversation with Ralia after leaving the Blackstaff.
Yeah, no kidding.
So is it evening right now?
It is now
before?
evening, after you've talked with Brian and Blackstaff.
We're going at the crack of dawn?
Yes, it's actually probably prior to dawn, though you'll have a wake-up call coming through you, but basically dawn is when everything gets going. Around 4 a.m.
Midnight snack before heading in?
Sure.
Yes.
So you head into the makeshift
find some
mess
food.
hall inside the camps right now. A lot of it is just big soups. Lots and lots of just whatever they can throw together. Meat inside barrels.
Love soup.
So you just see these big, like, barrels lined up, one after the other, and they're just scooping and giving all the soldiers. You're seeing such an interesting mix of individuals inside here, with a majority of the forces being that of the North. Then probably a significant amount being Waterdeep's forces, and then much lesser being the Grey Hand, and much lesser, because they're still on their ships, the Linride.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like there on the ships. Yeah.
You guys are able to take your rations of food, sit at a table as soldiers come up and throughout the night shower you with compliments, excitement. Some even challenge you to future fights once they get through it. I'll see you at the end of this, and then we'll see who the real chosen is. As the other one's like, you're drunk, get out of here! Hey, kick your ass! You can see this true appreciation for everything your group has done to this point. That you guys have given hope to the North, and on your journey here, there was definitely a toll that we didn't necessarily have to roleplay through, but you can see just how run down the city and the kingdom of Freya is from war, and even the North in Jinzo is run down. People are tired. They are devastated. It is exhausting. This war has pushed everyone to their limits. And this, even though war is hell, this excitement at a proposition of it being over is enough to make everyone's spirits lifted inside the mess hall. Is there anything else you want to talk about at dinner, or would you just like to have your dinner and go to bed and start your day?
Dinner.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying my soup, like, so much.
As you finish your soup, one of the soldiers sees how fast you eat it, and he goes, "Here, I'm not much of a soup guy." Gives you a second round of food for you. Make sure this one's big and ready for tomorrow. We don't want him hungry.
Oh, I'll be ready. Are you sure you don't want it?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, then.
His friend laughs at him and goes, "Before a fight, he always pukes his guts out the night before, so that's not going to be helping him anyway."
Oh. Hey. Being a little nervous keeps you on your toes. It's good for you.
Sure does. Survived a few battles in my time here in the north. Here's to another one. As he takes his glass and clinks it against yours and walks away. And by glass, I mean like wood. Everything's all wood.
Yeah. And mine is water.
Yep. As you guys exit for dinner out of the tents, you see a little bit of a gathering of individuals, all a little bit of a commotion. Do you go over to see what it's about?
Yeah. I'm curious.
No,
As-
I ignore it.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh, fine. It's your world. Do what you want. As you approach, you see a bunch of the guards, and you can hear these northern soldiers talking back and forth, being like, "Well, they direct orders from Blackstaff that says it's fine," which I think is startlingly strange. Yes, yeah, I think that's a strange one. And as you turn, you see the two of them look over their shoulder. "Oh, the great chosen grace our presence. Hello there."
Hello, what seems to be the commotion?
Why don't you take a look for yourself? As they turn, as you see a bunch of guards cross-armed staring at a giant-ass goat sitting in the middle of the camp right now. And you see him. "We have orders to make sure this individual doesn't steal anything."
Yeah, he's
Oh, he'll do that.
We are certain of it. As you see the goat right now, as everyone's got their eyes, they're cross-armed, and you see an individual looking around, and you see, "Oh, for God's sakes, it's our job to watch him." "Yeah, but my spear was right here. Where could it have gone?" And you just see, like, its mouth is closed, and just a little bit of his mouth opens up, and you just see, like, a toothpick of the end of the spear come out of its mouth a little bit, and then just back into its mouth. "You know, you need that for tomorrow." He's just like,
Hail the darkness.
You see it, "Hail the darkness," and it spits out the guy's spear as it hits the ground. And you see it, like, its eyes go wide and goes to grab the spear, and you see the guy go, "Oh God, no!" And he takes his spear.
I go to grab it as well and help him.
Both of you easily are able to keep it out of his reach, and he goes, "Oh, thank you." And he goes to start washing it off. "It would be difficult to fight without a spear tomorrow." Jesus. As he goes and walks away to go wash it off with some water or in the ocean shore.
What's its size right now? Is it more like normal size for us at the moment?
What do you mean, for the goat?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a normal size goat. It's like 3 times the size, ram rather. It's like sitting on its butt.
But it does kind of change in size every time we see it.
Yeah, occasionally, certainly. He seems to vary in size.
Interesting.
He is definitely some strange mythical creature that would do something like that.
I'm just gonna come up to him and just kind of pat him on the side a little bit.
And he's "Hail the darkness." You can tell positive vibes, bro.
I just
Bro.
What's that, Justin?
I said I can't believe that it stole a bear.
Sure did.
Bear.
It just like stole a bear.
Sure did.
It can, yeah. Like, that's
I'll be
what-
taking that.
Who knows? If that's, was Zach? Were you not there for that one, Zach? Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, took a bear.
A bear and it were fighting over food, a carcass. It took the carcass, and then it took the bear.
It wasn't satisfied with just the carcass. It was like, you know what? I'm taking you too.
Did it? Was it like a vacuum into an extra dimensional space, or did it just eat it?
Pretty much.
Space,
It
not
just
eating.
opened a portal and sucked it in.
Okay, so
Yep.
its stomach is the void.
You see the rest of him. He hasn't been giving us too much trouble tonight. It seems like he's keeping us company. Isn't that right, strange ram thing? As it puts its hand on the ram and it goes, "Hail the darkness!" and its gauntlet just disappears. And he goes, "What the?" You see the other individual. Don't touch it. Just like he touched it. I was dying to touch this thing. God.
I mean, yeah, but like we've run into this thing. It's a buddy of mine a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very careful. It will literally steal everything.
Yeah.
see
As
them
much
all.
as we've run into him, he still tries to steal everything we own.
Hail the darkness. Give me a perception check with advantage, Ulazal.
First one's a 22. Second one's not as good.
You clearly see, as the ram is staying stationary, one of its hooves slowly coming around airy toward the bag of holding, towards you.
Hey, stop it.
As it's ignoring you, as it's getting closer and closer, you see it clearly about to touch the bag of holding.
I'm just gonna like grab its arm.
And you see it slowly retreat the arm back. We have another guest, and I don't recognize that roommate. So this is startling to me. There's a stranger inside Ryan's room
What's this?
in front of his computer. What could he possibly... Is he stealing dice? What is happening?
He's taking everything.
I don't know.
Oh god, it all belongs to him now.
I have no idea who that person is. I've never seen him in my
Tommy,
life. Is that Tommy? Did he grow his hair out? Oh, that could be it. Is that Tommy?
Yeah.
Was that Tommy?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I saw him... Last time I saw him, he had a buzz cut.
Did he?
Yeah! Last time we played was Magic, like 5 summers ago.
I don't think he had a buzz cut, but it was definitely shorter. I mean, we all have long hair right now.
I've never seen him with curly hair in my life.
Oh, he's always had curly hair.
Color me confused. All right. You guys depart from the ram, and you are able to take your long rest for the night.
Phew!
That
was the hardest part of our challenge. Now we can fight the war with no worries.
So I'm just gonna be switching up my attunements. I'm gonna have the Ion Stone instead of the ring for
Sure.
this before I go to bed.
Sure.
So it's just spending an hour attuning.
Before you go to bed, as you're attuning, Mosno, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Nice.
Motherfucker.
I'm glad you unmuted it. I didn't hear your first curse, and I reveled in that.
Yes. It was actually not as bad.
All right. What's the roll?
I think not good. What was it again?
Wisdom saving.
Wisdom saving throw? Yeah, 6.
Okay, good to know.
Cry on me, you coward.
All right. As you attune to your new items, you wake up the next day. Around 4 a.m., there's a wake-up call from the Gray Hand. You see the familiar faces of Calgary and Salem helping wake up your... actually, it's probably just Calgary. Salem is heading up his group right now as he's waking the two of you up, and he goes, "Rise and shine. It's time to dawn a new age."
Let's go.
Good as day as any, I guess.
The group rises. They're with Blackstaff, and you see just the leagues and leagues of soldiers that have already begun their march ahead, and many of them have left throughout the night, since the Drow are much happier to attack during the dead of the night. You are now aware that the invasion of Neverwinter has already begun throughout the night. Brian and the Drow engaged Neverwinter shortly after you guys went to sleep. They marched probably about 3 hours and then began the fighting. That is more or less the siege, not so much going to the city, but they're distracting everything right now. So it's not odd that all of a sudden the next army show up and then there's only one individuals on the ramparts. What's going on type of deal. So they're a distraction for everyone right now. Calgary informs you and give you all horses to mount up on as you guys are going to make the journey with the Greyhand and Blackstaff now, as the Waterdeep army is now marching with their banners toward Neverwinter as well. The ships have mostly sailed out at this point. Jaqualdon's ship is still in port, and Jarlax's is nowhere to be seen. A lot of the Lin Ryu ships are already gone. They're all in the process. As you guys take your horses and your half a day's journey toward, a few hours journey toward Neverwinter from the rally point, you guys approach the ramparts, and as you are all on your horses, the Greyhands surround you in a protective bubble to make sure no one is going to get a clean shot on any of the Chosen. Blackstaff at the center as well, Calgary at the side, as well as Salem has his own group that is in a different section. Approaching the uneasiness of battle, that tension building, as you can hear the sounds of war come closer and closer. You can hear war drums beat in the distance. You can hear screams and yells, siege towers that have been moved into position, coming closer and closer to the walls. The clashing of steel is echoing throughout the lands as Aerie, Mosnell, and Ulazal see Neverwinter for the see the familiar Neverwinter in much different circumstances. Just barely, the sun is starting to rise. The dawn is nearly upon the group as you all make your way to Neverwinter. And at this point, the Blackstaff halts the horses. The Greyhand in front of you. You guys are fair enough distance away from the ramparts as you are guarded by the front line of the northern armies. And she gathers all of you to touch hands together, and she goes, "Are you ready?"
I'm going to take my stone out and activate it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll activate my shield.
All right.
Good. Oh wait. Let's see how long this lasts. Cast Holy Weapon on one of my crossbows.
Ooh. Good idea. I cast Holy Weapon on Mosnell.
On
Mosnell's a
Mosnell.
holy weapon.
He is the weapon. He had both.
Whichever one I'm going to cast Holy Weapon on that.
What does Holy Weapon do?
It's a buff. It's a 2d8 radiant damage, bright light, bonus action. I can dismiss it.
All right. So I was going to use the Holy Avenger Longsword.
Well, you have an extra 2d8 damage with that. 2d8 radiant
Nice. On every hit?
on every single hit.
Oh, yeah.
For how long?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm switching music.
Yep.
A holy weapon. 1
Bad
hour.
music time.
1 hour.
Nice.
Ugh. We won't even get, like, even halfway before this is over.
It is concentration.
Yeah.
All right, the group ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Here we go. Blackstaff has to make a teleport to a location she's unfamiliar with.
Oh no.
Let's hope she hasn't fucked it
It
up.
all is a miss.
Nice. As she holds all of you.
We end up in Minna.
Fuck. I told you you want a Ragnoran fight. You're gonna get one. As you teleport, it's a little off of where you guys want it to go exactly, but the black staff gets you onto the ramparts, and you see her look to all of you. Good luck, Chosen. She teleports out. The group is now on the ramparts. As you spawn in, you see Cobalt wolves manning the ramparts. They're on both sides of you guys, and you see them both look and go, and they start reaching for their weapons and taking out their crossbows and arrows. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Hello there.
Our blasted.
Hostile.
Ooh,
Oh,
dirty
Jesus.
20.
Ooh.
This is initiative, right?
Yep.
Ooh.
Natural 19.
Oh my god.
Oh, I rolled the same number twice. 19.
Let's
All
go.
right, same as Delphina. Zach, you were 20-something?
20.
Harry?
21.
Oh shit.
Bellona.
13.
On brand.
Yeah,
That's not like that low though. That's not bad.
I know, but it's just far lower than everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. With advantage. JK, clear it up. Fine. We'll go with that.
It's like almost 15.
My bad roll was really bad for her initiative, which I felt was unfair to Luke. And then my next roll was way too good, so then we'll just take the third roll. So it's not advantage or disadvantage. It's the roll after that.
It's the medium advantage.
Yeah.
Half advantage.
All right.
Advantage.
First up, Ari.
Let's see, how many are in each? Actually, no. Based on where we are, which direction does it seem like the army is towards?
The army per se?
Like the army of that, because we're on the ramparts.
Yes.
The army that is currently like where does it seem like the siege is coming from in terms of the direction of the gate?
I would say it looks like they're sieging just left of the gate, which would be to your left side. Like as you're facing into the city, the gate's to your left quite a ways. But
All right.
they're even further on that flank, trying to not make it so obvious that they're going to be making a push through the center.
So they're kind of on the left. We teleported to the right of the gate.
Yes.
I'm going towards the direction of the gate, firing at the first person there.
Go for it.
All right, that is gonna be a 24 to hit.
Hits.
That's going to be, and this is because there was kind of this moment. It's not gonna be a sneak attack, correct?
I'd say it is because they're surprised.
Okay. Do I get advantage on that hit then?
I'll give you advantage on the hit. I'll say you have advantage on the surprise here.
So that doesn't change anything, but it doesn't change the 2 hit. But that is going to be, where are you? D6.
Just Ragnorum. I don't want Ragnorum. Go away.
All right, so it's going to be
Yeah, that's right.
11 plus 29, 40 piercing damage with 9 force damage to the first guy in that direction.
Is it 40?
40 plus 49.
Realistically, narratively speaking, piercing damage, this individual, it goes through 2 other archers on the wall based on their stat blocks as you just killed 3 archers in a row on the ramparts with your arrow strike. As you see, like, a perfect bullseye just makes their armor look like paper. Target practice on
Just
an
this
archery
this
target.
this black force energy arrow just materializes and then just
Through them. All right. And then you go ahead and take your movement as you're pushing into it. You can see there is plenty of kobolds between you and the gate.
Yep. So I'm gonna make my way forward. And let's see, that's 45 movement, and just kind of keep going.
Yeah, as you start with 45 movement, you're basically pushing past the individuals. Go ahead and give me dexterity saving throws to try and get past them.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my bonus action for disengage, so no attack of opportunities, and a natural 20 for a dexterity save, so that's a total of 30.
You see Ari go up on the wall, punch through 3 kobold soldiers, sprint off toward the gate, and as these short sword strikes are trying to come out, he's already by them and he's dodging through, leaving the rest of you behind. Ulzal, it is your turn.
Oh, that was amazing. I'm so proud.
I'm going to clutch my holy symbol and I'm going to cast Aid at 4th level. All of my allies gain 15 temp HP and your max HP is increased by 15.
Oh, nice.
The orbs, the glowing orbs of Tyr pop out from your hands, and as they fly into the air in this beautiful display, each of them find home inside your teammates, including Ari, as just before he's taken off during this whole scenario, as this is all unfolding as soon as you guys get on the gate.
So wait, what happens?
You gain 15 temp HP, and your max HP is increased by 15.
Do we get those 15?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to take my movement to kind of keep up with Ari.
Okay.
I think that's my turn. I'm gonna stop short of the first guy so I can let Maznal at him.
Okay.
Yes.
It would then be, who has a better dex, Belfina or Maznal? What's your modifier?
Oswald.
+3, 16.
Maznal, you're up.
Yeah, I'm +0.
There you go.
Yes. All right, I'm going to go into a rage and run at the first guy I see.
All right. It could take you basically to the end of your movement because Ari killed so many with that shot. But as you get in there, you start
As
to
I'm
see...
running, I'm just like, oh, I'm so proud.
They're still turning, looking at Ari at this point. So you're coming up behind them, ready to cold cock hit them in the back of the heads because they took their eyes off the group.
That's a mistake. Ooh, reckless.
Yep.
But not Great Weapon Master, because I'm not using a heavy weapon.
Gotcha.
Okay. That is... What is it? A 19 to hit.
19 hits, absolutely.
Yes!
These are archer boys. Come on now.
Alright, so... That's going to be... so that's 16 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And I get 2d8, yes, Zach?
Yeah, 2d8 radiant.
Radiant. And oh yes, that is a 15 radiant damage. I rolled a 7 and an 8.
Like an animal being hunted in the wilderness, it doesn't even know what happened to it with its head turned. Mazno just cleaves the individual in half. Life over.
The sword thing works pretty good.
It cuts through them with magnificent radiant energy, and it's like how lightsabers would instantly cauterize everything. The radiant energy makes it like no gore, makes it super like peaceful in the death and the way it cuts through the individual.
Man, Mosnell's actually a samurai, guys.
This whole time.
He takes
Yep.
off a mask. It turns out he's been Flower this whole time.
Realistically, I like the idea now, like 5 turns later when Mosnell's hit doesn't do enough damage to kill something, he's just hacking. He's like, I'm still a samurai, guys! As he's lumberjack hacking with the sword.
Graceful samurai.
Alright.
He's just bashing with an axe.
All right.
The Cobalt individual gets cut in half.
I can hit?
Yeah. You can keep going.
Yes. All right. And then I'm going to swing at the next guy, and that's really fucking high. It's a 31.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Go ahead and hit.
All right. All right. Ooh. That is a 12 slashing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, actually, that's... I forgot to do it last time, but I destroyed him, so it doesn't matter. That's 15 slashing. Forgot to add the 3 for rage.
Mm-hmm.
And... that is another 7 and an 8. Whoa! 15 radiant.
These poor son of a bitches manning the walls had no idea the wrath that was falling down upon them on this day. As Maz now goes to the next one and he cuts into the individual, and as he hits him into the wall, Maz just pushes him over the top of the rampart into the city, falling down and just splats onto the ground.
And don't come back.
That's 2. Do you have any of those things where if you kill somebody, you can take another attack? I think you use your bonus action.
I do as a bonus action, but I used bonus to rage,
All right.
so
That'll be your turn.
that'll be it.
Belfina, it is your turn.
All right. So is Bologna somewhere near me?
Absolutely. You guys are still together.
Sweet. So I'm going to reach over and cast flame arrows on her. She has a quiver, right?
Yep.
Of course I do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I'm gonna make all of the arrows fire arrows.
Okay.
And it lasts for an hour.
How much extra damage does he get?
1d6 fire damage when it's a ranged weapon attack.
I have too many things to keep track of. D&D Beyond. Not gonna be happy with this.
I just set the 2d8 dice next to. I set it apart from everything else, so I remember to use them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, that's your action. You have a bonus action and movement left, if you want to move.
Okay. That was what I was trying to figure out, is because I also have other things I was thinking about doing.
Yeah, sure.
That's okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna try to keep up with everyone.
Okay. You follow suit behind Ulzal and Mosnell as you guys start pushing through to the ramparts. Bologna, it is your go. As Belfina casts her spell over your arrows and they come to life. You can see this like pulsating red-orange glow over each of your arrows, and just before you knock them, that's when the fire turns on for the arrows when you go to shoot.
Very cool. What's even cooler is that my crossbow is also radiant, so...
Super damage.
Jesus Christ.
Super
All right.
damage.
What kind of enemies do we got?
Well, not many in front of you to your left side anymore that everyone's running towards. Behind you, there's plenty as far as the eye can see manning the wall that are knocking their arrows and looking to fire at each and every one of you. But range-wise, as Ares moving into, Ares about to engage in a whole bunch of Cobalt soldiers as well.
All right. I'll
You can hit them from your range.
clear the path for Air Bear.
All right, go for it.
All right.
Go ahead and attempt to make your attacks against the other archers. on the
I
wall.
will do that.
Jesus.
Okay.
At this level,
first
we don't
one
need
is
the fog
a
of war.
natural
You don't need
one.
bonuses. Oh.
Oh no.
The first fire arrow goes as you go to shoot it. Belfina is taking off, and her staff accidentally bumped your shoulder on the shot, and it just moves off ever so slightly.
Come on.
As
It's fine.
Raleigh is standing next to you, being like, "You should be more capable to keep your aim steady, shouldn't you, Master Archer?"
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Watch this then. And that's a 21 to hit.
All right. It
So I
hits.
assume that hits.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have to roll a lot of things.
Go for it. No, you accidentally found the archer boss hidden within the rampart, whose AC is 5,000. You have awakened me.
All right. So we've got Jesus Christ.
It's Jason Bourne.
I know, right? We've got 19 piercing damage just to start. We have 19 piercing.
Insta dead. These are normal stat blocks of soldiers.
But then
It doesn't make sense they would be scaled, these soldiers.
there's 15 radiant / fire damage as well.
As that continues to pierce through the soldiers on the wall, your arrow makes up for it. As the first one goes wide, and then that shot, you said 15 for both fire and radiant, or together?
Yeah.
Separately or together?
Well, I had to do a custom roll on D&D Beyond, but it's 2d8 radiant and then 1d6 fire. So
I'll say you kill 2 people with your shot, and the third one, just the armor just gets dented, and you can just see that fire explode outwards on it, and just ash staining the cobalt armor, the beautiful blues and silvers, black and ash all over it. From the flesh of his friends, the arrow pierced through.
That's metal.
Ralia turns to you and goes, "Pretty good." And she casts Cloud Kill behind you and just starts obliterating the wall.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And she turns back to you. "I think we have plenty of time now." On brand! It is now the Cobalt Soldiers' turn that I rolled. A nice 5.
Are there any left?
Yeah.
Are they alive?
The ones in front. So they will take some shots against Eri and Mosnell. It makes sense.
The battle's not over yet? Guys, we're getting sloppy.
Yep, two of them definitely missed there. Okay. That one hits for a 24 against Eri.
What did they roll?
A 24 for...
Oh, yes, that hits.
To hit. And that just... that would be 6 piercing.
I'll use my reaction.
Is that half it?
Lower it.
Oh,
yep.
Nice. As the arrow comes out and it's going to hit into your leather armor, you move ever so slightly at the last moment, and it hits and deflects off your armor, feeling that nice bruising you'll get there, but not damage. All right, and here comes the more attacks from them. Oh, good. That's a good round. Against Mosnell, that is 22, 23, 21 to hit.
Those all hit.
As arrows rain down onto Mosnell, that is going to be...
Pain only makes him stronger.
13... Well, let's do it this way, actually. It'll be easier for me to add. That is 17, and then that would be 27 points of piercing damage, half because you're raging.
Yeah, 13.
This bag, by the way, is the best thing ever. It's got all these little corners. So everything's all sorted, all my dice. I don't want to go too far. It's beautiful. Now I'm not distracted half the time when we're talking, because the past couple weeks I just can't help but sort them where they're supposed to be in their groups.
I feel that on the spiritual level.
All right, and then it is now the other half of the Cobalt Wolves' turn on the opposite side of the wall, as they rolled a natural fucking 1.
Nice.
And they are going to shoot with disadvantage through the fog to try and hit you guys. That would be, the back end would be Ralia and Bellona. Does a 15 hit you, Bellona?
No, it does not, actually.
The arrows, you see these arrows try and pierce through the Cloud Kill and come short, like feet in front of both you and Ralia, and you hear a laugh from her. Beautiful.
Man, she's scary.
Sometimes I worry about you.
You see her smile. There's nothing to worry about. We're on the same side. And she pats your cheeks.
Just wide-eyed at Raleigh.
At that, she would have prepared, by the way, too, before the teleport, as Luke informed me, but now you were aware because she didn't want to make it too obvious. Where is it? By the way, Luke's advice to me was /run command, quote unquote, cloud kill for what Ralia should do tonight.
Very good.
Cloudkill.exe.
Plus minus animate dead.
So you see now one of her skeleton thralls next to her holding that magic sword she got in the cave, and it is guarding her right now. And you see the jaw itself is a little crooked and off, and you just see it holding this magical sword. And you can hear like the classic Skyrim, you know, the bone sound that the skeletons make inside that game. You're hearing that right next to you as it's just standing next to Ralia. And she looks towards it and she goes, "Come, we must take the gates." To the skeleton. So now it's top of the order. It's Ares' turn.
I'm just gonna keep killing and pushing forward.
All right.
Oh, here we go, killing again.
Here we go. In front of you, still plenty of them. You've made 45 feet. It looks like by the end of your turn, you'll be about approaching the winch at the top of the gates.
Okay.
That whinging you're doing.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt. That's a natural 20.
Oh, Lord above.
I don't have my sneak attack probably at this point.
No.
So that is gonna be.
Probably won't need it.
You
probably not. How many people are in front of me between me and the gate?
I'd say there's probably another 10 or so in front of you.
Okay, so the next hit is gonna be a well, it hits, and then it's
How much damage?
13 piercing, 11 force.
13 piercing, 11 force. That's just enough, actually, to take out 2 more. As you're running, Aerie jumps like toward the side of the wall, stops a moment to get his mark, pulls back, arrow forms, and he shoots through 2 more of Cobalt armors, bursting through their chest, the arrows. You can see some of the other ones starting to get nervous as they see what's happening.
Yeah, they better be nervous.
There's probably nothing really I could hide behind on the wall.
No.
No like boxes or anything. So
There
I'm just
are
gonna
they're empty though, but you know in Game of Thrones where they have all the barrels, quote unquote, where they have all the arrows in, so the archers can just pick them off the wall. Those are there, but they're see-through. They're just iron casted, so they didn't have to go get all the wood. They used all the iron that was available to them.
I'll just kind of like you could walk away if you want to live, and then just end my turn there.
Make a intimidation check for fun.
Ooh. And that's why I built a face character. That is a 24.
He's shooting fucking black magic arrows. That's intimidating.
You see 3 or 4 of them drop their weapons and start running. They start turning back, and you see the other ones going, "Hold your post! Hold your post!" As they're now in dismay as it comes to Ulazal's turn.
All right. How far away is the nearest one from me?
Pretty far at this point, as Ares cleared the way. We're looking. You went your 30 feet, so you're looking about 45, 50 feet now away. As Ares going 45 feet each turn, and then you're catching up with your 30 feet of movement.
I'll take my and then I'll cast Toll the Dead on the nearest one.
Go for it. You can hit him.
That's a Wisdom save.
Okay. A Scanlan wisdom save. That is a natural 19.
Wow. That saves. Very nice.
The one right now shouting to all the other individuals as a Toll the Dead comes off, and you see him just like, "This is what we trained for!" Ah! And he starts knocking his arrow to go shoot back at Aerie on his turn.
Right. He can live another day.
He
can live another few
seconds.
seconds.
We'll see about that.
Actually, just kidding. I'm gonna use my embodiment of the law feature to cast command on him.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell him to drop it.
Can you cast 2 spells in a turn?
Yes.
Okay.
If one's a
Cantrip bonus action. We're cool then. Yep. I just like to double check. I like to reiterate this stuff just to make sure we're on the same page. What saving throw is this?
It is another wisdom save.
I just doing the drop method. That is a 12.
Fails.
You see him as he pulls the arrow back and drops his bow.
Good. That's my turn.
All right. It is now Mosnell's turn.
Yep, I'm gonna run up to the closest guy and go at him.
Ares actually killed too many too fast, so you'd have to you're gonna have to make a ranged attack if you want to keep your rage up, because it's the next guy is probably about 45 feet away, and I'm pretty sure your movement's 30 feet.
I think it's 35.
So you're within 10
it's 40.
feet. Oh, within 5 feet.
It's range. He can do that.
Do you have a ranged weapon?
I have a javelin.
Oh, he's still with his javelin.
I think it's my last. Yeah, that's my last javelin.
So the idea is Mosnell picks up like a javelin on the ramparts, narratively speaking, puts it in his hand,
like
and heave-hoves it as he's running.
Okay, let's try this out.
Okay.
Hang on.
This music slaps.
Good. You can hear the war drums. Peeking over the ramparts, you can see the northern forces almost playing with the kobolds outside. It's odd in the which, like, they're not pushing too hard and they're keeping casualties to a very fine minimum. It's just like an exchange of resources that keeps happening back and forth. Yeah, they're not pushing, yeah.
It's a 17.
Oh, that hits. You can hear that, you know that sound when metal hits metal, those armors? You can just hear that puncturing of the armor, like as a joust would happen as that javelin cracks right into that kobold armor.
So that's going to be 11 points of piercing damage.
Oh, Jesus. Do you still get... Oh, yeah, on you, so you still get the radiant?
No.
No, that's the weapon.
Gotcha, okay. Enough to drop the individual. So as it crushes through his armor, you see him pushed over to the side. The one still dropped his bow, still stuck in his command, watching in terror as the last person in front of him, as the other ones are running past in fear toward the gate. See the Chosen slowly marching on them. Next up is Belfina.
So I was also going to do a storm aura and get 4 temporary hit points.
And you may.
Hooray.
That'll give it to Ari and Ulazar.
Anyone else?
It doesn't stack, so the 8 would be more.
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't stack, but if you have less than 4, you would have 4, which mine was at 2, so I'm at 4 now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like that last attack from last turn didn't even go through my temporary hit points. Thanks, Zach.
It's a good spell.
It's going to be a long night for the kobolds.
Oh, I have that feeling.
Good thing we found that cave.
Also, Mosnell is just like filled with pride by how badass all his teammates are. He's just like, man, I have to run so far because they're killing. Oh, guys, you're so good.
Every time Mosnell's about to hit somebody, like the arrow came from the fire arrow from both Belfina and Bologna. She's like, oh, proud, but then like, oh, I lost the guy. Goes up to the next one, just like more arrows keep coming in.
Sweet and sour, bittersweet, where he's just like, I wanted that one, but god damn, my team is good.
All right.
Alrighty, so I want to. Well, first of all, is there like at least one bad guy or a group of bad guys within 60 feet from where I am?
At the end of your movement, they would be within 60 feet of you. So you would have to move your full movement of 25 or 30 feet, depending on how much movement you have.
That's fine. I think I'm only 25 because I'm short.
Right, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, 25. So
Okay.
I'll run up 25 feet, and then I'm going to cast Ice Knife.
Okay.
Nice knife.
And... Man, I never remember with this spell. Do I roll like I'm throwing a dagger? Is that how this works?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
First, and then if on hit, either if it doesn't matter, the knife explodes, but if you hit, you do extra damage because it stabs the guy.
All right. So the one Ulazal is holding into command, or commanded, you rolled a
So I rolled a natural 1,
Oof.
but there's plus 11 to hit. So it's a 12, so it definitely misses.
It hits, because that's the archer's armor class.
Oh my word.
Well, a natural
then-
1 misses no matter what.
Not even with modifiers?
Yes.
Brutal.
That's why it's a critical
But
fail.
it still explodes and can do damage
Okay.
on a miss.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he has to make, or, whoever is in range of it, it's got a 5-foot radius, right?
Yeah.
Like, where it explodes.
Okay.
They have to make a dex saving throw of 18.
Oh, well, that's on brand 256. Okie dokie. They don't make those.
Okay, so they have to take 2d6 cold damage, which Zach just rolled for me, which is 11 points of cold damage for each of them.
So as the ice knife comes out of your hands as you cast the spell, it circles through the air and this past your teammates, and instead of embedding itself into one of the Cobalt soldiers, it actually hits into like the handle of one of their bows, and they all look like nice miss, and then it explodes outwards, pushing them all, and this beautiful ice shards out off and over the walls as they all three of them fall over.
Damn.
And we're
There's still
up
the
to-
3 retreating into the back.
That's a nice ice knife.
That was just barely enough to get through them. God damn.
Very good.
Take that.
This is level. You guys are level 14 or 15?
14.
14. Level 14 characters in comparison to normal human beings. This is like the Olympics right now, where you have just me against the rest of the Olympians. They're like, oh, they run fast. Yeah, I see how fast they run when you put that normal guy next to them. That's impressive.
Well, there's the idea that people have been throwing around, like, we need a control. We
Yep.
need like a regular person out there as the control, so people really know what's going on.
And then we need an overweight person out there so they really know what's going on. Have the whole
Well, I mean, like,
averages.
Yeah. Like, they would have to, like, figure out what the true, like, average person is.
That would be a fun experiment. Regardless, you guys are murdering the average people on top of Neverwinter's walls. So, as we continue through, that will then bring up Bellona's turn.
What's the scenario now, Chief?
Long range attacks at this point. You have to go your 30 feet, and the next target is standing at the gates, I would say, at this point. Besides, there's 3 fleeing, so they're closer. Their backs towards you. They're fleeing toward the gate. The gate is within 25 feet of area at this point where he's at. If you take your full 30 feet of movement. It was about for a little over 100 feet away was where the gate was initially. So you're all now closing in on this by the beginning of the 3rd round. And there's a giant cloud kill behind you, murdering as you can hear shrieks and coughing.
Oh, jeez.
And you can hear the bones, Mr. Bone Jangles behind you, jangling it up. With his magic sword and little off-kiltered jaw.
I guess I'll just kneel and try to take out one of those faraway peeps then.
Sure. You kneel down and you're
I'll
using
just,
your...
I'll just take a knee because there's no one around me. That's,
Sure. Are you using your crossbows?
Yeah. How far away is this?
I would say it's a 45-foot attack far away.
Okay, that's fine.
Because if you go to the end of your 30 feet... Well, if you don't move... Are you going to the end of your 30 feet?
It's 120 because I have the sharpshooter.
I mean of
feat, so I
movement.
don't-
Of movement.
Oh, of movement.
Yeah, are you
can
keeping
get
up with
movement,
everybody?
and I'll do that.
What's that?
Yeah, I'll keep up with everyone.
So yeah, so at the end of your that's how, then they're 45 feet away from you
Yeah.
if you take your 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Then yeah, I'll do that. I'll do the same thing as I did last time.
Okay. So you go down to your knee, you use your left arm to steady your right one as you go and line up your next shot, and you go and shoot. The arrow radiating, going from whites to the red flames turning on as it flows through the air. And we'll see.
Okay, it's a natural 17.
Ricking them, Ricken
26.
style, right through the back of them. Let's see how much damage.
It looks like 22 piercing. And
Ooh, that's a
then,
Ramsey Bolton shot right there.
Do I need to roll more? Or is that...
No, he's dead. He's definitely dead.
That's what I thought. Alright, cool.
One
then
down.
there?
There's still 2 more retreating.
Okay, I'll take aim at the other two. I'll use my second attack and then my bonus action to
No way.
make those attacks. They're Cobalt. I don't care.
Go for it.
Fair.
They're not actually little children. These are grown men getting murdered.
Okay, we have a 15 and a 12. We got really bad rolls.
Both hit. 12 is the armor class of the archers.
That's hilarious.
They're not
Okay,
meant
cool.
for combat. That's all the soldiers down fighting in the city. Soon to be, anyway. We're the ones that
Okay,
are
so we
fighting.
got 22 piercing and then 20 piercing. So
Gone. All the retreating, all the cowards from Aerie find their finish face down on the ramparts of Neverwinter. All right. Well, Ralia looks and goes, now I have nothing to do. And she looks at you, that's okay. And she starts bringing some of the kobolds you guys have walked back to life. And
Nice.
she will cast...
Renee is dead.
Just
Yeah,
watch
it's-
the casting time on those.
What's that?
Just watch the casting time on some of those.
Animate Dead raises 2 undead at level 3 and 2. It is a bonus action to command the zombies and skeletons. So is that a minute casting time or what?
It depends. What does the casting time say?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. Let me go in. Oh, I'll just go to Ralia's.
I'm gonna grab food real quick.
We're taking a break in 5 minutes.
Oh, we are. Then I'll wait.
And I'll wait 5
It should
minutes.
be right at the top where it says duration.
Yeah. I know where it is. I gotta go get her shit up. I had Luke's cheat sheet in my DMs, and that was nice.
Oh, did Luke slide into your DMs with his
Yeah.
with his
He's
cheat
like,
sheet?
hate to be the guy to be 2 weeks in a row not there. I'm like, man, it's fine.
Yeah, Animate Dead takes 1 minute to cast.
All right, then she won't do that. She'll just... What's the range on Eldritch Blast?
Unlimited.
It's
Pretty far.
if she has, I think she has Eldritch Spear, so she probably has 120 feet on it.
Well, normally, but if you say Eldritch Blast.
Oh my god, she has 240
Then
feet
it's
of
unlimited.
range. Jesus, that's such a Luke character if I ever saw one.
Oh,
All right, let's see what Luke rolled. Oh, brutal. 25 to hit. There's an individual with you see a bunch of actually armored soldiers by the gate at this point as they can see the ruckus going on and all the mayhem that you're causing. They have all these axes out and you see her go, I think I can hit that. And the periwinkle ball of light comes out and shoots off and you see one of the individuals just get splatted with that, and that will do... Oh my, really, D&D Beyond? 10 points of force damage. Terrific. As it blasts and you see his armor just get dented in and explosion. You see him, his axe drops to the ground and she goes, a couple more for good measure. And she shoots 2 more. How many Eldritch? She has 2 Eldritch or 3 Eldritch?
3. At this
Probably
level.
3.
Okay, 3.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I don't trust this dice rolling app.
Wait. What did you roll 3d8 and got a 10?
No. I rolled... I did her 2 attack, her hit DC. I hit that. It rolled
Yeah.
a 17, and then it gets a +8 because that's what she has.
Yeah.
She rolled
Yes.
another natural 17, another +8. That's going to hit again.
Right.
That's a natural 9 force damage as that blasts into the individual. You see him down to one knee. She goes, he shouldn't still be standing as the last shot goes off. Natural 2. That's a 10. That one goes wide, and she goes, must be the winds from my cloud. As it just goes, as the storm is continuing horrifically behind you. Actually, as it's moving too, as you're getting away, Bellona, as you look back, you just see the bodies eaten away by necrotic as all these cobalt armors is just all about all laid about on the ground. With that ends the kobolds' turns because you guys have successfully murdered all of them, and it's going to be the top of the round as you get to the gates. But we are going to take our break.
All right. Kill some more cobalt.
Back to killing kobolds. Top of the order, Aerie. You are now approaching the gate. One individual is badly hurt, legs, one knee on the ground. dropped his axe from 2 Eldritch Blasts, and there are 2 more individuals beside him.
I'm a attack.
All right, go for it. Oh, damn it! Stop. Bad body. Keep going.
That is a 28.
Oh, gross! I regret giving you these things. Go for it. These weren't meant for you.
That is 9 piercing damage.
Okay.
And another 9 force damage to one of the healthier looking ones.
Okay, so that goes into one of the healthier looking ones on the left, overlooking the winch. He staggers back as your arrow pierces his armor.
And then I'm gonna go over to the winch, and just because I can, I'm gonna use my bonus action to fast hands and start to use an object and activate the winch.
Okay, yeah. Is there even a roll for that? If that's an ability you have?
No, it's I can use an object action as a bonus action because I'm a thief rogue.
Yeah. So you run up quick, take the shot, hit the guy. The other one's on the ground. The one to his right that can't reach you right now is watching you come up, and you're instantly hitting the winch. You see them all go, just acknowledging it, and they're about to yell, but it's not their turn. So it's Ulzol's turn.
Right. I'm gonna move up as far as I can.
All right.
To get within range, and I am going to. Are these all archers or are they knights?
These are knights now.
Okay. I'm gonna target the healthiest looking one, and I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead. That's a wisdom save.
Okay.
Dark necrotic energy pulses from his left
15.
hand. That's a fail. That's gonna be 15 necrotic damage.
Boom.
Between the Cobalt armor, you can see the necrotic damage start leaching through, and the burning sensation that comes up from his boiling skin as he starts yelling underneath his armor. Still standing, but badly injured.
All right. After I take my movement, that's going to be my turn.
Okay. It is now Mosnell's turn.
Yes. Is there just the one winch, or is this one of those? There's like 2 you have to do at the same time.
I don't know. You have to find out.
Oh shit.
You're on the left side, though, approaching it, coming up to the gate. So Ares already working his way, trying to move the winch. He's activating it, and it's cranking away. All 3 individuals look damaged now.
Fuck it. Well, the door's gonna come open anyway. I'm gonna go after these guys.
Okay.
I must silence them.
Don't forget you have that extra radiant damage.
Oh, I remember. I'm twiddling them right now.
All right. You're able to get up to the one that has fallen to its knees. The other 2 are just about too far away.
Ah.
So go ahead and make your attack.
All right. Reckless.
Okay.
I don't want to miss. All right. Doesn't matter.
No one misses here. It's ridiculous. Oh, we did have one natural one, but then it was still an AoE.
Let's see. 25.
Yeah, that hits.
I didn't want to miss.
All right, Tracer.
Oh, off the table. Okay, so that is 14 points of slashing damage.
As you crack into its skull, it embeds its way halfway through, and you take it out from him still on the ground. Maybe Ralia softened him up a bit for you.
Maybe a little bit. Is he dead?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I was like, there's still radiant damage, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, he had 2 health left, so...
Just bink. Oh.
Who put that there? That's not helpful.
Okay. And I can't get to the other guys.
They're out of your range. You can give me a perception check to see what you wanted earlier, see if you can try and look around.
Yeah, I'll do that. Perception.
Yep.
6.
Seems like the guys are standing in front of whatever might be on the other side there, so still tough to tell if it's a single or double man winch.
They're totally standing in front of it.
Maybe. Belfina, your turn.
Alrighty.
Dude, it's probably a viral witch.
So these two dudes,
Yes,
do they have armor on?
they sure do.
Is it metal?
Oh, it sure is.
Okay. Are they 60 feet away from me?
At the end of your movement, they are.
Alright, so I use my movement. So they're 60 feet away from me.
Okay, full 25 feet.
And
Lagging
then
behind the
I'm gonna
party, though.
cast- Okay.
Because your tiny
Like
little
with the
feet, you're
sword.
behind them, and Raleigh are just like, oh, cute little halfling. Or you know him on this one, too.
coming!
No, you're a halfling for Belfina, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Want to make sure you keep it straight.
Alright, so let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can do more than one.
If you upcast it, you might be able to. Or it might just be more damage, I don't know.
Damage increases.
Yeah.
So probably just one.
That's one target, but you could probably maybe get two with this. Because it's a sphere. No, it's up to you.
I don't know, I'm a little nervous about that one. I haven't used it before. I'll just do this. I can do it again if it works.
Okay.
So, is one of the guys more hurt than the other?
They both look pretty fucked up from your friends.
Can I help you?
Somebody's metagaming. Maybe less metagaming. We're just trying to play for it.
She just keeps moving my screen on my tablet.
You have your own tablet, dude.
Trolling.
Backseat gamer over here.
I'm using
Alright.
the
So,
desktop now.
Tell
I'll
you,
take
you.
one of the two guys, and I'm gonna cast heat metal on his armor.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's see here.
It's a con save.
Where do you see that? Why am I having such a hard time with this?
Oh wait, actually, there's no save.
Oh,
He just takes it.
Yeah. Any creature in physical contact with the object just takes it. Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action to cause this damage again. That's a really good spell. That's a
Why
really
did
good
you
spell.
take that away? I wasn't done.
Sorry.
who is this guy?
Take my tablet.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So I'll cast it on one of the two guys.
Yeah, go ahead. It works because that's how the spell works. The armor starts heating up. What's the damage on it?
8 points of damage.
Oof. As you heat up the armor on the individual, you see his shrieks start coming out as he's trying to get his armor off and tear off his helmet. He just falls down to his knees and then over onto his side as the heat is too much and overwhelms him from all the necrotic damage he suffered. Ulzal made him super sensitive. And by that I mean
that's
super
horrible.
dead.
Is he
Yeah.
crying?
We're the real bad guys.
Oh, we're the baddies? I just boiled his skin and then we cooked him alive. But we're the good guys. As Raleigh is just
hear
like,
you.
see, gas chambers, not a bad
But
idea.
they can, so they hear your metagaming.
Yes, we do hear them.
I'm just trying to
Okay,
be helpful.
exactly.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Well, you can't cheat.
not cheating. I'm just trying to help.
Just trying to play
This
for
game
you.
is cheating.
I didn't think that's what it was.
Said every cheater ever.
I don't know.
Okay, Mark McGuire, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds. I didn't know what they were putting in my ass with steroids. They told me it was vitamins. My bad. All right.
Are you gonna do?
Sorry, I wanted to do one more thing, but I took too much of a bite of my.
That's fine. You got your bonus action. On deck is Bologna, so you get everything straight in your head, Bologna, while she finishes up that delicious bite of food I wish I could
So
eat.
has anyone in the party taken any damage yet?
Nope.
I think so.
Hey, go
Okay,
fuck
then
yourselves.
I
Not
can't
real
use my
damage.
bonus action until we get that point anyway. So I'm good.
All right, Bologna, it's your turn.
Okay, I just rolled 3 attacks.
Okay.
I got a 28, a 12, and a 22.
12 does not hit. The other 2 hit.
Alright, cool.
The last remaining Cobalt soldier. God damn. I wish I rolled higher. Ugh.
Alright, we got 22 piercing, 23 piercing, and then a boatload of radiant damage that I don't feel like rolling
The
right
40
now.
40 is enough to kill the individual.
Yeah, I figure.
Yeah. So as the arrows two just go into it, falling out of the way, Mosnell, as you're staring, you're like, I bet there's something behind him. As he falls out of the way, there was another winch behind him.
Oh, it's there. I found it. I was right. I knew it.
Anything else,
The whole
Bologna?
time.
Anything else, Bologna?
Is there anyone else?
Not that you can see currently from your distance, because it's
All right.
the gate is raised, so the other side of the ramparts continues down around the city. You can't see it from where you are at.
All right, then we're good.
Okay, you see Ralia. Seems like there's nothing else there. She turns towards the city as the cloud is still going, and she just starts looking down. She just throws Eldritch Blast towards some of the guards inside the city down there. And we'll roll those.
Ralia's just patting her kill count lead.
Yep.
She's got AoE. It's not fair.
She's just playing for stats.
Miss.
Yeah.
Hit. Is that 7 or 17? So 2 of them miss at this range. They pile off, and then one of them does hit. An individual who's sitting in one of the higher parts of the battlements. You can see as you guys overlook the city, there's all sorts of barriers and checkpoints made to stop travel through Neverwinter if there is a breach. And one of the individuals on top of one of the stands just takes an Eldritch Blast for 2 damage, force damage, as he gets knocked off his chair. He's like, "Whoa! What was?" As Ralia comes back, she just does a little like poop and comes back over, and she's like, "Just keep moving." As the skeleton just creeping along behind her. Cobalt's turns. Opposite side, Mosnell, you can see there are more kobolds along the walls. And you can see them looking up. One of them wide-eyed, looks a little younger. This one is Cobalt Spartan-like in the sense of the design of the helmet where it arcs so you can see the eyes and the mouth. This fear inside him. And he reaches over and he takes a similar gun that you've seen Calgary hold, and he puts it up in the air and shoots up, and you see these red smoke go up into the air, and you can hear all people on the wall going, "Chosen! The Chosen are here! Chosen! Chosen!" as they're calling down the wall right now.
Hey,
Oh,
we
we-
got the red flare.
Oh, we have guns now. Look
Not
at that.
gun. It's not a
Check it out,
gun.
Ralia.
Flare.
It's a
We got
flare.
flares for us now. Check it out, Ralia.
All right. Well, you know what? Now it's a wand that shot a wandy flare into the air. How's that happen? Enjoy that, Mr.
Gun?
Harry
Next
Potter?
thing you know, we're gonna see a dragon.
No. Oh. So that was absolutely a wand now. I have been offended so thoroughly to my core that the Cobalt Wolves use wands for their smoke signals. Good to know. Anyway, one time use wands that burn up after the shot goes. You see griffins come into
Roman
the air,
candle.
and they start coming toward the gate right now. 3 griffins fly with riders on the back of them.
Oh, those griffins belong to me.
Okay.
As they're running up, the other kobolds will take shots at Mosnell.
I didn't know you owned griffins.
That is 23, 24, 24, 17 to hit. The other one doesn't.
I'll hit.
Ooh, yum, 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 yum. That is 16, 23, 26, 38 points of piercing damage as 4 arrows hit into Mosnell.
38. So what's that? 16? No.
38 halved would be 18, 19 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, 19.
As you're exposed, and Mosnell just gets hit with all these arrows into his skin, digging into your flesh. But your barbarian calluses on your skin are like laughing it off. Not so much, you're still bleeding. But you have arrows in you.
It still hurts.
It still hurts. Okay, top of the order.
I lick the blood. And then I stare at him.
Oh, that's terrifying. Ari, your turn.
I'm gonna use my action and bonus action to keep pulling the wench.
As you continue to pull a winch, you feel the part where now you've gone as far as you can. You need the other side to go, so it's all ready. You're holding the rest of your action for when the opposite side of the winch goes to bring up the entirety of the
gate.
The gate. At this, you're also hearing at this point, up on the opposite side of the walls, rallying horns. As you hear these big horns just echoing, very bassy, and then eventually going up to a much higher pitch as they hit into the echoes around the crags of the city. The sun is just starting to come up on the horizon as you can feel the, or you can smell the salt water from the ocean just around the corner as you guys have pushed further toward the main gates. The northern forces are now repositioning as this flare is going up into the air, and you can see a lot more mobilization going on. Ulazal, it is your turn.
I will move to the winch and start using it.
All right, go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Strength check.
Yep.
Okay. That's gonna be an 11.
11. You're laboring through this, and as it's going and going, you're getting a little held up, and Ares still waiting on you to get all the way through it at this time. Anything else? That's your action. You have your bonus action. You use your movement.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing now, boss.
Okay, Mosno, you see Ulazal struggling with the wench a bit. What do you do?
Is this like a one-person operating thing?
No, it looks like you could like potentially go up on the side and push up as well as he's trying to turn the thing.
Okay, because I was contemplating whether to help him or just to shove him out of the way.
Either would work. Either
Honestly,
would work.
either.
What?
Either would work.
I'm gonna shove him because I think it's funny.
All right, Mosno goes over. You shove him off. All right, go ahead and make a strength check.
Nobody healed those wounds.
There's arrows ricocheting off Ulazal's shield on his back right now. You readied your shield? Is it floating already?
It's
or
floating.
That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
it's
Okay, just wanted to double
hovering around
check.
So that's a 21.
21. You just feel clear crack go through where the last notch was holding it, and Ares playing a game of catch up now as Mosno fired up as he's rage opening the gate, and the gates start opening at
I'm
this
still
point.
raging.
Ulazal, as you look over to the side as the gate is coming up, you can actually see Gaestros in all lining. There's like 3 or 4 of them that just hit from the arcane signals, these like red fire strikes. The fire burns out and they start opening themselves up. You see all sorts of different Cobalt soldiers moving, making orders, and at this you peer around the wall and you can see one of the large direwolves with Brine leading a charge as a whole bunch of cavalry is now coming towards the opening gates. As the forces are meeting, the first of the Gaestro go to engage Brine. She jumps off and she shoves the sword right into the face of the Gaestro, and this radiant explosion happens as you hear the clashing of steel, and the fight of Neverwinter has begun. As they've now entered into the city, and the waves of people are now coming in. The others are retreating on the ramparts, the other soldiers from you, but the Griffins are still coming into the battle. The Griffins are now rolling their initiatives.
Is it just Griffins? No riders?
There's riders on them.
Okay.
They're hand in hand.
Brian's attack took Mosnell's breath away for a second. Whoa. That was so awesome.
All right. Next up is Belfina. Right now, there are Griffins on about 60 feet of range from you right now with riders.
Okay. Yeah.
They are in armor as well, the riders. And the Griffins have some piecemeal on them, plate armor.
How close are the riders on the Griffins to each other?
Oh, I'd say about 10 or so feet apart from one another. They're going in a formation right now, so they're all 10 feet apart. Oh, that's where you are. I found it. I was looking for that earlier.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Flaming Sphere this time.
Okay.
And it's,
Goodness gracious.
let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it's basically the same as Heat Metal. It's just, a flaming sphere appears.
Okay.
And it's 5-foot diameter.
So,
And you would make a dex save of 18.
okay. Let me get those up. I'm also probably going to need the... That's a natural 18. That's a 16 plus 2 is going to be an 18 to succeed. And that is a 10. So one of them fails. I think I need my player's handbook. Probably just look it up. I have this, though. Okay, cool. All right, so one fails.
Alrighty.
So aggressive. Nice.
Alright, so he takes 6 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Oh, and let's see. So the other guy, even though he saved, he takes half as much. So he'll take 3 points of fire damage.
I just gotta get all their hit points. Oh, interesting.
I saw him.
Okay, have that set. That's set. You said it was 8 points and then half as much? Or
It was 6 points.
6 points and half as much. Okay,
Yes.
so that'll be halved, fail, halved. Okay,
Cool.
cool
And
beans.
then, as a bonus action, I can move the sphere.
Okay.
And so is there another rider that's like, let's see, it has to be... Yeah, I can move the sphere up to 30 feet. So is
Yeah.
there another rider within 30 feet?
Yep, for certain.
Alright, so I'm gonna move it so that it bumps into him, and he has to make a save.
Okay, natural 1 and a 11 plus their dex, doesn't matter. So both the Griffin and the Rider fail.
So he takes 8 points of damage.
You got it. 8 and 8 puts that down to do math. Oh my god. Stop it. There we go.
You
I
can
got
do
the
it.
number. That's why you don't do it in your head. Just do the math. Okay, cool. All right, as the fire, Belfina takes her staff and she points it at the Griffins. This ball of fire explodes outwards, and you hear calling out from the Griffins and the riders, and then slowly moves into the next rider, not stopping their motion, but you can see them just burning and trying to pat themselves off. Some of them taking their helmets off and throwing them down, as the one on the far left is still on his Griffin, long spear on its edge, barreling down onto each and every one of you. It is Bellona's turn.
Wow. Okay, sorry about that. Guess I'll just make some attacks, right?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, they're coming closer to you.
Keep doing what works, right?
They're coming
Guess
closer.
we'll just start shooting.
Yeah.
Started
So then I
blasting.
started blasting.
All right.
What's the highest priority target, I guess?
I mean, there seems to be one leading the other two, so you could go for that guy.
Alright, yeah, I'll go for that guy then. D&D Beyond, why you do this? 19.
19 does hit.
Cool. And then we've got 20 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then let me do the calculations on the radiant damage.
Go
there.
for it. You still have the fire as well. Has not been an
Yeah,
hour yet. As you shoot off your first arrow, piercing through the breastplate. You guys are just hitting
It
crack
looks like
in these
10
breastplates.
radiant damage
Okay.
and 2 fire.
2 fire?
Yep, 2.
Okay. As you shoot that arrow into him, you see he drops his spear as it hurts into him, and he draws his sword as he's coming closer, still on top of the griffin, but badly damaged.
Okay. That was only 1 attack, right?
Yep, that was the first attack.
Alright, let's do another one. We got 17 to hit.
17 just hits.
Alright, excellent. 18 piercing. And 7 radiant and 4 fire.
As he takes his sword out of the sheath, your arrow cracks right through his helmet into his head, and he falls backwards off the griffin, drifting into the ground. You can see what cape he had on fluttering as he smashes, breaking one of the house roofs right through. They shatter all into the ground and cause quite a commotion down in the city of Neverwinter. Anything else?
There's another one, right?
There are 2 more riders and still 3 griffins.
I'll just try to take out. I'll try to take another shot at the rider with the bonus action then.
Okay, go for it.
That's a 16 to hit.
Does not hit. The arrow
Okay.
bucks right off one of the side half plate armor shoulder pads on it. Okay.
All right, that's all I got.
It is now the cavalry riders' turns. As they close in, they use their lance against Masno, I would say, and Airy, who are working on the winch. As they close in, the first attack goes against Airy. That's a fucking 6.
Miss.
That's a 20 against Masno.
What's that?
You get hit with 16 points piercing damage as this long javelin-like lance goes right into your back. Give me a Constitution saving throw to maintain holding the gates open so they don't crush the northern forces coming through.
What is this?
That's a virus, Ryan. That's the virus.exe you installed.
I forgot about that.
Ooh. Constitution saving throw, whatever that roll was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I got distracted.
You're fine.
Constitution saving throw,
Yeah.
19.
How much?
19.
Oh, yeah. You keep it, blood trickling down your back. You can feel it, your rage building stronger, holding place as it makes its rounds. It hasn't even hit onto yet. The lance has about 10-foot reach on it, able to hit you, already removed from your back. You can feel the blood trickling onto the ground, down your back, but staying strong on the wheel. Airy, as the lance comes for you, you easily holding it in your place, shift your weight, getting leverage to keep held it in place as the lance, the jagged edge on the end of it, the sharp sword-like tip, spear-like tip, goes right into the concrete wall and misses your head as you give her a little smile because of how slow the rider is to try and hit you. Okay, with that, it's going to be the Griffin's turns now. The Griffin is going to try to melee Bellona. It's going to be a grapple contest. So it's her athletics versus the Griffin's strength.
So it's
Acrobatics.
Griffin's athletics versus Bellona's either athletics or acrobatics.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The defender can choose either strength or dex.
20 dirty.
Good on you. 14. I had another bad roll. The claws of one of the griffins go to grab you to throw you off the walls and misses as you dodge out of the way of the griffin's claws. Fools all. Same thing.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Yep.
They're the same for me, so. Ooh, that's not good, Bob. That's a 4.
That's a 21 for the Griffin as it picks up Ulazal in his plate armor and lifts him high above the walls that you guys are at right now.
Oh.
My time, Kat. This is it.
Not great.
The last one is going to go for Belfina. It's going to have disadvantage because you are a halfling. That's a little tough to get in there and grab you. So it's your athletics or acrobatics.
Okay. Athletics it is. That's a 14.
That's a tie. What happens on a tie?
I goes to the runner.
I know that in baseball, but in D&D.
In D&D, on a grapple contest,
Yeah.
It goes to the contestant.
it goes to the defender, I believe.
The claws go right around Belfina, and just before she gets picked up, she slips just out of the reach of it as it's about to completely enclose on her.
Very nice.
And it goes on by.
Let me just
All right.
double-check that.
That will end the Griffin's turn. It is now Ralia's turn. Ralia, seeing Ulazal in trouble, is going to do 3 Eldritch attacks against the Griffin, hoping to knock Ulazal out. So let's do Eldritch Blast.
Wait a minute. How high up am I right now?
You're going to be a lot higher if she doesn't do anything.
All right.
26 to hit. That's gross. 5 points of Eldritch Blast damage.
Eldritch Blast.
And I'm going to run this like a concentration check to see if it loses the grapple. For fun. Maintains. That's a natural 3. That misses. And the last Eldritch Blast, that's an 18 for a 26. That hits. Another Eldritch Blast off. Ulazal, we need you. Come back here. Stop playing. That maintains again. Unlucky Ulazal. Alright, so that's the damage. I did the damage. Okay. What's her bonus actions look like? Misty Step and Healing Word. Okay. Good to know. Okay. That'll end Ralia's turn. It is now Ares' turn. He is still preoccupied right now, holding it up. The forces are going to take some time. So up to you, Ares, if you want to let go or try and get somebody else to do it for you or something like that.
Is there any way to like lock it?
Make a intelligence check.
Ooh, 19.
19. Given your thief-like skills, you could probably break it in some way to keep it open. Jam one of your daggers or one of the fallen pieces of metal. There's armor plates around here. You're resourceful. You could probably figure something out to keep it open.
I am going to take just my basic short sword to get a little bit of more heft behind it rather than a dagger.
Yeah.
And use that to make a wedge to try and keep it open.
Give me a sleight of hand check. Your intelligence check has made this easier because it was so high. It's lowered the DC.
Natural 20.
Oh.
For
Didn't matter.
a total of 30.
As Ari was leaning down out of the way, the Griffin Rider gave him a perfect line of sight to see where he could wedge one of the chains that's keeping the gate up at this point, taking his short sword, jamming it into the right spot. He goes to release his winch, and it doesn't move. Ari's now free. That would be your action for the turn. But the gate is propped open.
Short sword. I'm going to move. Let's see. You know what? Just for fun, I'm gonna prep a dark coin power.
Oh boy! I hope it's a 1.
It's not.
Thank God. Now I don't have to throw my notes away.
Ooh, actually, this is what I already know about. Yay! So I rolled a 53, so I'm going to use my madness point to bump it up to 58.
So you do. Okay.
Because I know what both of those values are. So
I don't believe you. So
Keep learning.
anyway, that'll end. Ares' turn is now Ulzal's turn. You are in the claws and grasps of a griffin about 20 feet above the ramparts right now.
Okay, I am gonna take my Mace of Disruption.
Okay,
And I'm going to swing at this griffin.
go for it.
Actually, pause that.
Okay.
Hold on. I gotta think. 20 feet, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The wall, if you fall down the wall, you're looking at like 120 feet.
Yep. Instead of using my mace, I am just going to cast the cantrip because that does more damage. So why would I ever, Wait, do I have Divine Smite? I totally do. Oh, so many options.
Oh, you auto fail a skill contest.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, no. Ends when the grappler is incapacitated, is no longer within reach, or fails a skill contest. Never mind. You're good.
I am going to use the Mace of Disruption. I'm
Okay.
going to swing at it. That's going to be a 17.
Let me double check. I believe that hits, but let me double check. Yep, that hits.
Okay, so that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be 3 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And let me see. I haven't used my Divine Smite in a while. I forget how much damage
You
that
can
is.
smite? Did you take a paladin? What is this?
No, it's a cleric
Cleric
thing. There's
thing?
clerics that hit people harder.
Okay.
Yeah, extra 2d8 psychic damage. So that's going to nice 11 psychic damage.
Okay, for a total of 3, 11, 14 points of damage. Makes the math a little easier there. It rolled another check there, and it still maintained its quote-unquote concentration of holding you.
Heck!
Yeah.
Let me go!
You would have to try and break its grapple. With each damage, I'm trying to see if it's going to loosen those claws, but not so much.
How's it look?
It's not looking good. It's getting some good rolls on the griffins. Makes me feel good.
Oh, dude, I can do a thing. I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast command on
Okay.
the griffin.
Okay, and that's a what save?
It's a wisdom save.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell it to land.
Okay. That is a natural 18 for a 19.
Well, fine then. Okay, I guess that's all I'm doing.
As you go say land, as you command it, you hear go bah! Right in your
Wow.
ears. Not feeling it. Mosnell, it's your turn. You've seen Ari now leave his side of the winch, and he has somehow fashioned a way to keep it open. It is now, you can keep holding this and maintaining, or try and do something else at this time.
Can I see what he did?
Give me a perception check. It's a little tough because it's on the opposite side of the winch.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah, it's too tough to see at this point because it's just the way it's laid out. You couldn't see it from this angle.
Do I see anything that might be able to like hold the door open?
What you're holding right now, there's no prompts. There's nothing to prop it open. There is just bodies around you and weapons cast to the ground. You see Ari flipping a coin in the air, jolly, like. You can make an intelligence check if you want to try and figure it out. Try and see if Mosnell can try and put together what Ari might have attempted to do, but it's going to be
Sure,
tough.
why not?
DC's going to be hard on this one.
7.
Yeah, it's you don't know what to do at the moment. You can take a wild guess for certain, but it's on to you right now. You can't really, your surroundings aren't giving you clues. It's up to you to try and figure something out as a
What is it? What am I looking at? Like, what do I? How is this?
It's basically like connects, where they have those circles and you put all the pegs in on the side. It's basically that type of turning thing, and it turns all the chains. And the winch itself is all these chains that open the portcullis. I believe that's what it's called, and that's the gate that comes up. And there's all sorts of different chains looping around one another all off the winch that is using tension to its advantage to lift this up right now. You're all on a wooden platform. You can see a little bit in between where the mechanism is, but the rest of it is just guard bodies around you and archers. And you're holding it right now in place. It can't get pushed to the right any further.
And if I let go, it's gonna go back down.
Yeah, you're gonna feel it start going back down. As you test it, you feel it move a little bit back down. You hold it. At that area, you can even see your short sword strain as soon as Mazan goes to let go a little bit.
Just an FYI read, I did look up the grapple ties.
Yeah.
On a tie, you essentially keep the same status. So if a person is not grappled, they do not get grappled.
Neat.
But if they're already grappled,
They stay grappled.
They stay grappled.
That's a good rule. I like that a lot.
That makes sense.
It's like Wizards knows what the hell they're doing. Or
Well, it's
rather-
still kind of the defender. Like, if you're trying to break out,
Yeah.
you are kind of the one doing the action and they're defending.
Yeah, you're the aggressor. At this point.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
All right, make a move. Make a move, Mazan. The clock is ticking down.
Yeah, Mozzie.
We're still on the first objective.
You could ask for help.
All right.
He's metagaming. Get him out of the car.
He heard a bird.
There's some shenanigans going on here.
Yeah, but he's not stealing iPads, so that's pretty good.
Well, okay, wow.
He can't. If he could, he would.
I'm just giving you shit.
I'm just gonna be like, give me something to prop this open.
All right,
And
Mazan
just
calls that
continue
out.
holding it.
Okay, Belfina, it's your turn.
Alrighty. I'm sorry, what?
Sure as hell not using any of my weapons to prop it open.
Oh no. You sure? It'll be there when you come back.
So, how far away?
Unconvincingly.
Is the Griffins from you?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Like, the closest bad guy.
The closest bad guy is probably about 10 feet above you at this point. They're now sailing by on their run above you guys. So they're really on top of the crew at this point as they were hitting you with their javelins, and Griffins were trying to bite you or to grapple you guys and throw you off the top of the ramparts.
Alright. I want to use my new scimitars.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Can you reach that?
they're 5 foot long. So I would have to move
You have a 5 foot
a little bit.
You have a 5 foot long scimitar?
reach.
Oh, it's a 5 foot reach.
That's
So, like,
still hilarious. I love it. Keep going.
Taller than you are.
So, yeah, I'm 3 foot. So,
Give me an athletics check to get on top of the rampart, then to take out these giant ass swords to hit these griffins. This is D&D gold.
what did you say? Acrobatics?
Athletics.
Athletics, it's climbing.
Alright, that's an 8.
8. I mean, you struggle up it. It takes all your movement to get up there, but it's also just climbing a normal rampart. It shouldn't be that hard. It's just how much of your movement you're going to end up consuming, which is all of it. So you're going to be stuck on top of the ramparts, which is awfully precarious place to be. So you're on top now. You're within range. You have your reach on these scimitars. What are you doing?
I try to stab someone.
Go stabby! She's cutting up at the griffin of the rider that does not have Ulazal. That was on the far side. The leader is no longer there, but the griffin's still there. The rider and the griffin is what she's attacking.
Alright, so that is 17 to hit.
Hits.
Beautiful. And then
6+1. That's only 100.
Those drums are going.
Aw.
2 freaking points of damage.
Hey, every little bit. This one is taking a lot of little damage, which is hilarious. As the griffin, you hear a call come out as you cut into the underside of it, and its fur seems more thicker and matted than what you would have expected, and seems to lessen a lot of the blow from your sword, and your height is just not quite what... need that leverage. But you do some damage.
Haha, take that.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okie dokie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Has anyone taken damage?
Mazda.
I have.
You can easily see him from your distance. He's but 5 feet away from you.
Okay. Let's see here. So I can do some healing on him. Let's do.
Get after it.
So
Mona,
he
you're
has
on deck.
2 temp HP, and then he regains 80 HP.
Nice.
Okay.
You feel the healing powers of Kratula wash all over you as nature itself starts to close some of your wounds from Belfina's hands as she closes her eyes and focuses on Mosnell quickly. A little green glow around Mosnell, closing those wounds.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Is there a spear still sticking out of me?
No, they took it out. It was one of those like.
Okay.
Yeah, no. They're very long. They're very cool. I like the illustration they have for the Griffin Cavalry Riders inside Waterdeep's stat block for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. They're really cool. Anyway, it is now Belfona's turn.
Belfona.
Belfona
I said Ona.
is
Eat
going
it.
to. No, I know.
Fight you.
Could you recap what happened with Ulazal and the Griffin again?
He's still
is it
stuck in the clutches of the
landing?
Griffin, and it is still over the ramparts, but it looks like the Griffin on its turn is looking to fly over and drop Ulazal off the ramparts.
Like hurtling towards the ground?
Yeah, like 120 feet towards the ground.
Oh.
Like it'll hurt if it moves on its turn.
Potentially. Sometimes
Alright,
it's
so
how
I
the
gotta,
dice
I gotta
happen.
take care of that, don't I?
You could or you couldn't, and I could be really excited to see how the session goes because I didn't think the healer was going to get punted off a wall.
Yeah, a lot of things happen.
Alright, I'll, oh, jeez. What a pain in the ass. Alright, yeah, I'll, take some attacks at the Griffin, I suppose.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna make 3. I already made my attack rolls.
Okay.
So I got 33, 21, and a 17.
All hit? Oh boy.
Okay. Alright. We got. What's 13 plus 11 is 24 plus 6 is 30 piercing damage.
On their piercing, it goes right through the Griffin's brain, and you see it just start falling. The rider jumps off, throwing its spear away and landing next to Mosnell. The Griffin slams into the ramparts as it curves down toward the right side, and Ulazal falls free of its grasp, taking
Give me the damage, boss.
only 5 bludgeoning damage for the fall.
All the ways that could have gone, that was among the best.
Yeah.
Let's not forget to mention the. Hold on. 23 radiant.
Actually, it just explodes
and
as it
2
hits.
flame.
It explodes with this radiant light. Its skin just seared. You don't even recognize it anymore. And then you just see this little fire from Belfina just go over it.
Man.
As Ulazal's on the
That's
ground, putting his hand up, the clanking of his armor.
What's the wench situation looking like?
It looks like Mosnell's holding it up. Ares freed it up. You can see that Ares has wedged it open from where you're standing on his side,
Okay.
and Mosnell's looking for help to try and keep the crank open so the northern forces can get through.
All right, I'll just walk over to say like hello. Not like hello, but I can't do anything else, so I'll just walk over and
Okay.
assess the situation.
Well, you also, as you move over, remember the rider that you just shot off is now next to Mosnell as well. So
Oh,
you have
word.
him with
Okay.
his sword drawn, so you're all ready. You're all in a nice Mexican standoff right now.
Yeah, that's the situation for sure.
Okay. It is then the Griffin's turns That griffin's dead. Those two are still there.
Uber
so,
dead.
that's going to ride around. So one of the riders is going to turn, and it's going to make another attack against Mosnell. That is a natural 17 for a 21 to hit. That hits Mosnell. I know it does, so I'm going to continue.
Yes, it
on.
does.
That's a 14 piercing.
Okay.
As another one of those spears cuts into your back, you feel the blood coming out, missing your the vital parts of your spine, but not fun, which is half because it's piercing damage.
Yeah. 7 points, I think, is still fun territory.
Yeah. The griffins, then, the remaining griffins, will try and bite. I'll say Airy and Bellona as they sweep down for bites. That's a natural 20 against Airy and 5 against Bellona, so that doesn't work. Natural 20 will give me this guy. Oh, well, that sucks. That's a 10, doubled 20 plus 4, 24 points of piercing damage as the bite.
Uncanny dodge.
Ooh, look at that guy doing. Oh, not today, bitch! As the bite comes down, still gets a bit of airy, but not as bad as it would have been if you took the straight-on attack, the assault from the griffin. Okay, the other one missed, and then we have one rider that is on the ground now, and he's gonna make his attacks against Mosnell. He has 2 attacks at advantage because I think Mosnell is preoccupied. And your DM's an evil god. But not that bad because is your armor class above 14? Mosnell?
Yeah, mine's 16.
Well, fuck me. I can't roll for shit, so it doesn't matter, my guy. So he goes to stab into, you're holding it and you're looking him in the eyes. As the stabs come out, you move to one side, you move to the other side. You see him like in utter shock. He's like, should have just cut his arms off. What the fuck am I doing? All right, that will end the griffin's turn. It is now Ralia's turn. Ralia is seeing the individual near Mosnell. She is like, this is ridiculous. So what level spell is that? That's too much. She wouldn't do that. She'll do that. She's got that spell spot. She is going to look at the individual that's trying to stab at Mosnell, and she goes, no, don't do that. And she casts Blight. He fails. That's a natural 6. That is 8d8 necrotic.
Well, he's a goner.
That's 33 points of necrotic damage to him. That was the Ulzal one. And 33. He is still standing.
Wow.
He's looking rough as it burns all throughout him. You see his hand shake and his skin sink in, and he has this horrible necrotic damage burn throughout his body. This black, evil magic. And I guess it's actually periwinkle mixed with black. And it's not evil, it's Raven Queen. So, there you go.
So is it periwinkle with a black center?
Yes.
Or is it black with a periwinkle center?
It's very much like the, it's black at the center and the periwinkles all around it.
So like Cole McGrath,
Yes.
Infamous One,
Exactly.
evil playthrough.
You're 100% right. You have it perfectly how I envisioned it.
Yes.
You have described it
Good
correctly.
work, Ryan.
Thank you. I still remember the first time I saw that like black lightning. I was like, "Whoa!"
Wasn't it? It was Aries' turn now. Go ahead, Aries.
Let's see, I've still charged up
Yeah.
with my next attack.
You have your madness for your next attack.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to take one of my daggers and kind of do the same thing, kind of wedge it in there to try and keep it secured on Mosnell's side.
All right. You run over past the individual, past Bellona, and you go and do that. Give me a dexterity check. That will be an act. Oh, you said that's an action to wedge it in there.
It's a bonus action to use item for me.
There you are, because of your feature. So go ahead. You're on point.
So just a standard dex check or a sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand. This is definitely sleight of hand.
So then
This
that is going to be
101, my man.
a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Hearing Mosnell's aid after flipping your coin, Bellona's coming over to aid, and you jump over the top of the area of the winch, missing, falling through to the bottom of the gates, land next to the knight that's trying to stab at Mosnell, but he's temporarily hit by Ralia's spell as she's causing all this necrotic damage. You take out a dagger, flip it in your hand, and stab it exactly like you did on the opposite side, locking it into place.
And then for my action,
Yeah.
is there still a Griffin Rider up in the air, kind of not over the rampart, but over the city?
Yes.
I'm going to aim at that Griffin.
Go for it. He's actually not the city side. He's actually northerner side. He's coming around. So he
Basically not over the rampart, meaning
Yeah.
that's a full drop.
Yes.
I'm aiming at the Griffin.
Okay.
That is a 28 to hit.
That hits. It's an automatic crit.
I know. Yes. So, oh wait, it's an automatic hit as well. I forgot. I didn't even need to roll for it. So that is gonna be. Oh my god. So it's 14 piercing.
Mm-hmm.
And another 14 force. So that's 28 total.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, sorry. 14 piercing, and then it's 28 force.
Sorry, say that again. The final count there.
So it's 14 piercing total,
Okay.
and then 28 force damage total.
Nice.
Oh, actually, sorry. It's an extra 8 to the piercing, so it's a total of 22.
As your arrow hits into it, it comes out the other side, a clean shot in, just like how you would hunt for an animal. You see it go puncture into one side, out the other, quick. You see the blood dripping from it, still barely on life's edge as it's holding the rider, but you see it's clearly descending instantly. It just took massive damage. So close. So close, man.
Oh
And-
man,
and
Ulazal's gonna be pissed.
That's it for me.
All right. Ulazal, your turn.
How much of my movement does it take to get me out from under this thing?
I'd say half your movement.
Okay, I'm gonna take half of my movement. Can I use the other half of my movement to get up to the guy that was riding this thing?
That was riding. Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna smack him in the face with my mace.
All right. You push over the claws of the griffin, steady yourself as your shield's going around, and Bellona gives you this look. It's like, oh, it's nice to see you, and you just ignore it and whams mace into this guy's face.
That is going to be 4 bludgeoning and
To hit? What was the to hit? How?
to hit was 24. Sorry.
Yeah, that hits. Okay. Just
So it's 4 bludgeoning plus my divine smite damage, which is 14 psychic damage.
oh. You ring his bell and you see him he doesn't even know where he is now. The helmet comes right off. You see blood gushing down the sides over his face. You can tell he's like probably in his 30s, in great shape. Definitely looks like the role of a Griffin cavalry rider, and he is just seeing stars right now.
Bonus action healing word on Mosnell.
Okay,
Hey.
go for it.
That's 12 healing.
12 healing.
Mosno, it is now your turn.
Yes. Okay. I no longer need to hold this thing.
Does not appear so.
Okay. Let's find someone to destroy.
So I believe. Oh, but you were getting hit every round, so you're still raging. That's
Yep.
a nice bit
I was
of luck
getting
for
hit
you.
every round. Yep.
And
yeah.
the guy is literally like 3 feet from you, so the closest bad guy.
Hello there.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit.
Yeah. Reckless.
Okay.
Not that I needed it, but screw it. That is 22.
Well, he's dead. He has 1 hit point, so he's dead.
Nice.
Mathematically, he's dead, Ryan.
I'm rolling anyway.
Go for it.
That's 15, 18 points of
Oh
slashing,
my god.
and that's 13 radiant.
Oh my god. So Mosnell takes his sword, he goes like right through his chest, through his heart, takes it out, lops off one of his arms, and then goes and takes off the head, and the body just crumbles to the ground. All right. That rider's gone.
Who's left?
There is 1 Griffin rider on top of a Griffin that is descending down toward the walls as it was injured by Aerie.
Is he close enough where I can run and jump and hit him?
If you want to jump off the ramparts onto him toward the northern forces, you can attempt to do that. I don't know what your end game is, but you can definitely do that.
So there's nobody else to swing at?
No, you fucking murder hobos! No!
Why am I here?
Do you not see the bodies everywhere?
I'm here to kill all the kobolds. Like, that's the reason. That's why I'm here.
Oh my goodness.
How high are the ramparts?
120 feet off the ground.
Oh, okay, so maybe not. I was getting ready. I was getting ready for like they're like 30 feet, and I was like, screw it.
No, these are fantasy. This is an epic
Said
fantasy
that a few
castle.
times.
You've been to this place, and it's stationed on top of like a giant cliffside.
Okay.
Plus,
Is there anyone like outside of like running range, but I can start making my way that way?
yeah, well, you have to make your way all the way around the ramparts to get to the second objective once it's ready. So they have
Well, we
retreated.
haven't seen the flare, have we?
Way the hell. The guy that shot that flare, those guys are long gone at this point, and you can see them pushing back to another halfway point and reinforcing the ramparts to try and prevent anybody from the ramparts pushing towards the halfway point. You can already see a front forming as you see Brian turning back and looking here. You can see 2 Gaestros are already dead in the street right now, and the bears that have barreled through have broken through a majority of the barriers that were set up to stop cavalry from coming through, and you can now see Greyhand cavalry starting to file through and just cut through all the Cobalt soldiers on the ground like it's butter.
Nice. Actually, how far away is the griffin from the wall? Is it below the top of the wall?
No, it's actually trying to land just to the right where you want to progress to go around. It's now curving around to land there because it's looking for a place of landing right now. And it's trying to land back inside the city.
Okay. I guess I'll start making my way towards people. And if people call me back, then so be it.
Okay. You run that way. Alright, it is now Belfina's turn.
Oh, Stormore up 4 points healing. Just temporary hit points.
Yep.
How far is everyone away from me now? Like, bad guy wise?
The last bad guy I would say is about, from where you're standing, 25 feet?
Okay.
And it's out over the wall. It's flying out away from the ramparts at the moment, but eventually wants to land back in.
Okay.
It's a bad guy riding a really beat up on death's door griffin.
Yes, Aerie shot almost its heart out. Just missed.
Then I think I'm gonna do another ice knife attack at it.
Go for it.
Alright.
Crafting in Belfina's hand, she takes and shoots another knife off towards it, flipping through the air.
I'm aiming for the griffin.
You got it.
So that is an 18
Hits.
to hit.
Uh-oh, spaghetti-o.
And let's see.
D10 for the damage. For piercing and
For
then
the
2d6.
piercing, yeah, and then D6 for cold.
That's a 10.
Yeah, so I got 10 points of piercing damage for the griffin.
Okay, so as you see where Aerie put his arrow through, you take your ice knife, whirl in your hand, and throw it, and you hit it right next to where the hole penetrated, right into the griffin's heart, and it just nosedives. As it's nosediving, you see this ice explosion go off for...
Nice.
10 points of damage.
10 points of damage, cracking all over the rider. As the griffin smashes into the wall, he falls back toward the northern forces that are all pushing through the front of Neverwinter, and there's a little hole, like a gap that forms of people that let him fall and crack into the ground dead.
Yeesh.
Bad day to be that guy.
Yeah, you tell him.
Indeed.
All right, there are no more enemies around you. You can continue proceeding if you so choose, but the flares have not gone off yet.
I'm gonna call Mosnell to tell him not to get too far because we don't have the signal to leave yet.
I
We don't own
know.
the spot.
As Mazo's sitting there ready, raring to run down.
He was getting excited.
The northern forces push their way in through. The cavalry comes in as a little shock and awe tactic as they hit hard, and then they retreat as you see cavalry of Waterdeep, plated soldiers now coming through. And as they're hitting with their second wave of cavalry, pushing the Cobalt Wolves back and back further into the city. With the infantry going into the alleyways, you guys have a bird's eye view to see how they're filling in through the streets, how the battles are going, and how the Cobalt Wolves are clearly being overwhelmed just as the sun is about to come up over the horizon. You can see a lot of the northern forces now, as the sun's getting up into the air, fading back to hold positions as the Waterdeep soldiers are pushing further and further into the city, and their cavalry pushes further and further. Brian continues to lead her own group, and you can see sworn on horses by her side as well, with their long, like unsullied, like spears and shields, stabbing away, guarding Brian as they're cutting through the forces. You actually see the wolf start mounting up one of the sides of the buildings until it gets on top of a building, as you hear her with a rally cry holding her Crescent Dawn sword in the air, and you see all these other bears climbing up. You actually see one of the leaders of the Frostborn with a polar bear he's riding start climbing up to the top of one of the buildings, ripping out piece by piece as they're now on top of the houses, getting bird's eye views down, moving out throughout Neverwinter. At that, you can see smoke shoot up green and white after about 10 minutes of fighting throughout the air for you guys, and you look to see Calgary down to your it would be your bottom left, who is near the gate entrance, but pushed back into a few houses as a temporary base is already being sent up as a bunch of the Grey Hand are interacting with one another. You see him looking directly at you guys as he's holding up his wand into the air.
All right.
Let's go.
So at that point, I start leading the way down the wall to make our way to the opposite side of the city.
Okay. Give me... This is now a skill challenge, because you guys can clearly dispatch the ramparts of the walls. And this is about how well, efficiently, and quickly you all can get through the Cobalt forces to the back end of Neverwinter. This is going to take you the better part of the next 2 hours to walk the perimeter of the city to the backside to aid. What is the first skill you would like to try? Describe to me how you would like to break through the fortified forces that these individuals have built up, knowing that you were coming.
I would like to try and think as if I were a Cobalt Wolf general, a commander, to try and figure out where he would position the most troops and what areas he would think are less important.
Mm-hmm.
to try and gauge what he would think are areas that would be less traffic, so we can go that way.
Oh, remember, you're on the ramparts. You're not in the city.
Right.
So the ramparts are just ramparts. It's just you're walking in a straight line.
It's the wall, so we go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Which way? Try and figure out which way would be more fortified.
Okay, you can give me a intelligence check.
Can I do insight? Try and get in my enemy's head and figure where they would
I'm thinking about it.
put their stuff.
I'm thinking about it. Gonna read some stuff. I'm gonna say spot a creature attempting to hide, hear the movements of a hidden foe type of idea. So like you're trying to spot the movements. So that would be perception/insight type of idea here. Determine if someone is lying or disguising themselves. So maybe it's same extrapolation of hiding their plans, hiding their movement. You're trying to get inside his head the way you described it. I'm gonna give you. I'll give you the pass on the insight. Go ahead and make that insight check.
Let's go. I needed it too.
Go ahead.
That's a 12.
That's a 12.
Plus 10 modifier there, bucko.
That's a plus 10 to a 12, or a plus. Is it 22 or 12?
It's no.
He rolled a 2, is what he's saying.
Well, that's still your first failure. So as Ulazal starts looking, and he looks back towards the cloud kill, and he's trying to figure out which way is going to be less fortified. He's starting to see it's giving him more and more time for individuals to build up more and more defenses there, and a rain of arrows just cracks down onto the group.
Rude.
So I'm going to roll damage. Yum, 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 yum. We don't accept that here. Okay. 29 points of piercing damage as arrows rain down on you guys.
I'm gonna uncanny dodge.
29.
The group does its best to get out of the way of this hailstorm of arrows.
That's
I'm
for
gonna
everybody.
only take like a little bit because temp HP.
Oh yeah, she has temp HP too. How much was the temp HP?
It was 15.
15. And she has a plus 15 to her total HP, but doesn't gain those hit points. It's just a higher reserve if she gets healed.
Is that override maximum? Is that what I do for that?
So what you can do is if you're in it, you can do max HP modifier.
Oh,
and
there
do
it is.
15.
Yeah, I see it now.
But then I think you may still have to take away the 15 HP from the health
Sure.
that's added.
So then that's 12 more points to her damage. Oh, Jesus. That's not at all. What the fuck just happened? That's not... I did max HP modifier, and it just dropped her to 1. That's not what I did.
Oh, did you do override max HP or max HP modifier?
Okay, it won't get me out of override now. This is dumb.
Just delete override.
I did, and it keeps putting it back to 1.
Oh, that's dumb.
What the fuck? How... I can't get out of 1 now. This is really dumb. Cool, thanks D&D Beyond. Can I refresh this? Is it just gonna be stuck this way forever? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I can't get rid of the override max HP. It's just stuck at 1.
Is there still a 1 on the override?
Yeah, I can't get the override 1 to go away. It won't go away. No matter how much I push it down.
Do both backspace and delete.
I don't have a delete. Oh, there it is. Oh, thank God. Delete. It was delete. Doesn't like backspace. Okay, everything's fixed. Jesus. But now we got a minus that much. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh, dear God. Just why is this? This is so painful right now. Okay, she's fine. All right. Okay, next skill challenge. Who wants to do something else?
I am going to try and kind of get control of the group and try to move us a little bit more quietly and stealthily along the walls to avoid attention if possible.
They just shot a rain of arrows at you. What do you mean you're gonna hide? These are ramparts. You don't got ODMS gear or whatever the hell it's called. You're not gonna be zipping along the sides of the wall.
It's more.
You gotta explain this to me, boss.
How about more of not so much hidden, but more of trying to be more slippery and avoiding the shots, trying to lead the group in a less conspicuous manner to avoid taking damage.
I feel like this is a dex check, not a stealth check.
You know what? I will do a dex check if that's what you want.
I'm feeling this is what we're gonna challenge. Your skill to control the group and your dexterity in guiding them.
That's still a dirty 20.
Then that's a fucking success, my man. As you start steering, you start pushing people back and pulling them back and forth as the second barrage of arrows comes down to the group. You guys steer at Ares' back as he just feels locked into the zone. You can even feel your blood pumping as you're getting more and more excited. The madness markings all around you starting to glow and pulse and push you guys through. Getting closer and closer to that first barrage here, that first blockade that's going to really be the make or break of getting through. What are you guys going to do next? Is that you're coming up on all these people, spears out, shields there, trying to make sure you guys do not break through their line.
Are there any just sheets of metal or shields or anything sitting around?
There were a while ago, but you guys have now sprinted through all the retreated area, and they have brought what they could with them.
Would I be able to borrow Ulazal's shield for something?
You can ask.
Why? For what?
Battering ram.
Just give it right back.
These are the most ridiculous propositions, one after the other. All right, what are you going to do with what skill, Mosnell?
Athletics.
All right, you're going to try and do what with your athletics and the shield?
I'm holding the shield in front of me, and I'm going to charge the line.
Holy shit. Okay. This is a high DC as they have ranged spears and shields waiting to stop you.
What am I supposed to do?
You could always defer to another group member, but go for it.
This is my only move.
Oh, I don't... Play how you play. Go for it. But
I'm raging, so I'll get advantage.
As your DM, this is not your only move, but play your game. I don't want to hear, like, what am I supposed to do? There were no options. Not true.
No options for Mosnell. This is his only move.
Okay, just roll your dice.
Oh, all right. Athletics.
Yeah.
26.
God damn it. That's a success.
So I just have the shield in front of me. I'm just going boom.
As he charges through the spears as they go to hit him on his sides, you will take
That's fine.
half of three piercing. Half. What a joke. You're going so fast. The other spears aren't prepared. They're like, this. He's not charging us. He's not charging us. He's charging us as he breaks through the spear in front of him and he pushes through, knocking back the individuals that had the shields as your group starts to file into all these rows of people with their spears ready, but those spears were behind another set of shields, a Battle of the Bastards like, and Maz just shoving them aside, creating this little pocket in here as you guys are all now about to be surrounded by these individuals, but you have a chance to punch through the walls and walls of Cobalt soldiers here.
He still has Holy Weapon active on his weapon that's presumably on his person.
It's a sword.
I can use my bonus action to end that spell and cause a radiant burst, dealing 48 damage and causing a blind effect.
Yeah?
I'm in the middle of everybody.
I'll do that.
My God. Yeah?
Ooh, that's stupid
this is
plan.
such good synergy.
This is great.
So that's going to be 20 radiant damage.
I just felt Luke smile somewhere. He just took a moment. He just looked to his right. He just, wherever he was, he just looked toward me in the world, no matter what compass direction, smiled and goes, bet you didn't consider that. Right, Luke? I didn't.
That fail a con 18 save are blinded.
For 20, it doesn't matter with 20 damage. They are blinded as they fall to their deaths off the side of the walls as the explosion radiates out. Mosnell, unknowing what he's doing, pushing the shield through, blows these individuals apart.
Whoa.
You see Ralia go to lift her finger and she goes, well, that's way more effective, I guess. With what's
stronger than I thought it was.
She begins saying, like, go ahead, as you guys continue down the wall, and she starts bringing more skeletons back to life, more Cobalt soldiers back to life, takes some armor and puts it on her big boy. And Raleigh is going to take 2 or 3 minutes to get, I believe, 3 skeletons. As you guys continue down, that's 2 successes, 1 failure. You're doing mighty well. You have another grouping of individuals, another blockade coming up. They are nowhere as close to as fortified as the original group was. So how you guys want to try and proceed can continue. There's still Bellona and Belfina have their opportunities to try and contribute with a skill that they are proficient in.
Oh, I'm gonna give the shield back to Lizelle once it gets to me, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for the loan.
Low key hands it back.
Is there like a... Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I know exactly what I would do if I were you.
Is there like a clear-cut best path through this to the next area
No, it's a
that I
rampart.
could deduce? No.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Is there like a weak point in it that I could deduce potentially?
Potentially.
I don't know. That's what investigation says. When you look around for clues and make deductions based on those clues.
All right. Do you have anything else you're proficient in, or is that it?
I'm proficient in a lot of things actually.
Oh, what are you
Insight,
doing?
investigation, perception, persuasion, stealth, survival.
All right. Well, choose
It's a
something.
lot of things.
Choose something you feel like.
I want to survive for sure.
Roll for if you survive. Roll for survive.
Survival is really all about tracking. It looks like.
yeah.
it is
I'm
all
kidding.
about tracking, yeah.
More about like nature.
Yeah.
Not about, you know, this.
It's like
Breaking a line.
surviving in the wilderness is
Not
survival.
with
Yeah.
people with swords and stuff.
Determining compass directions. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about surviving the wilderness and stuff like that.
Can you make a bonfire?
Basically.
She starts making a bonfire.
jeez.
This will work.
This'll
Honestly,
work.
honestly, if you want to make that survival check, I have a very funny way that could play out if you succeed.
I'll make one. I don't know what you have in mind, but
All right.
If
Go
the DM
for
throw
it.
me a bone, I'm gonna let the DM throw me a bone.
There's just if you succeed, it'll be funny. If you don't, it'll just be lame.
16.
The DC's 15 for this.
Oh,
So, as you, with your survival check, you go down there, you start looking at the soldiers and everything, and you're trying to put it all together. You take something out of your pouch and you start thinking about the forest, and you're like, you take the water out, and you're thinking really hard to try and surmise what's going on and like how you're gonna get through this and how you're gonna contribute. And you see Ralia go, for the love of. And she just casts Cloud Kill and blows them to oblivion. We don't have all day.
Cloudkill.exe.
I was picturing the Spider-Man meme from Into the Spider-Verse with the 2 Spider-Mans like,
I saw like Bellona like
like
trying
Peter
to make a
Parker's like,
fire, and she just comes up and she's like, I have no idea what you're doing. They need to die.
I don't know what I'm doing either. I don't know.
You use your survival skills to the point of annoying Ralia to blow them up.
That's one use for it, I guess.
That's how I wanted to use them. I knew you would do that, Ralia.
You were
All
just
right.
waiting until a bigger predator came through.
That's a good way to look at it.
Okay. Belfina, give me some sort of check as you're coming up on the last checkpoint here between you guys and the back end of Neverwinter. You can hear the crashings of the sea. You can smell the salt water so well, and you can actually see the horizon of all the ships. Now that the sun is higher in the sky, you can see the druids hard at work, and you can see all these Lin Ryu in their robes with those masks on, the hoods up. They are currently climbing up the sides. There's a whole bunch of them just straight climbing, rock climbing, ignoring what the druids are doing as they're making their way in. You see a whole bunch of them shooting harpoons that are into the side, and they're crawling up on the bottom of the ropes from those harpoons inside the rock, and they're making their way up to the top of the rampart.
Oh, they're so fucking cool.
So just
Why are they so cool?
A skill that you're proficient in to try and get us through the situation.
well,
Yeah.
you can either do perception or medicine, and I don't think it's medicine.
Yeah, so give me a perception check.
In some instances, medicine can be a poison.
22.
Nice! Success! Belfina, as you see this last group, you notice that there seems to be some weakness in the wall beneath the individuals that have taken up their place. You point that out, and without a second of hesitation, you see Ralia take an Eldritch Blast and blow that piece of the wall away. And you see the chips, they go, oh god! And then she hits 2 more Eldritch Blasts as the entirety of the wall caves and slopes down as these individuals fall onto the housings inside Neverwinter, clearing the way.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Now that there's this big gap, how do you guys want to get across the gap that was created by the weakness inside here? You're almost home free.
How big is the gap?
It's about a 20-foot gap that you just created in the wall.
Shit.
It's like a landslide, basically. That
Can't
just took
jump
out those
that.
floors. Ralia's probably in the 200s now in her kill count.
Just for today.
Yeah.
I don't even think Mazdal's gotten to 200 in general.
She's a monster.
Damn.
It's not fair when you have a bunch of soldiers packly densed with low HPs with a wizard that has cloud kill.
That's like a dream come true for a wizard like Ralia. Yeah.
Yep, an AoE wizard.
Seriously.
Ralia's a wizard, right? Yeah.
Yep, she's literally
Yeah, I thought
skipping through fields of skulls right now instead of flowers in her goth uniform.
I want to see like the Terminator opening where like there's all the skulls and then the Terminator foot crushes the skull, except it's Ralia.
Except she probably wouldn't crush the skull. Think of it like the Hills Have.
Yeah, but like
Is it
the
the Hills
same
Have
like
music?
situation.
What's the musical where she's out in the outside? She's twirling. flowers.
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. Think about that sort of joy.
The hills are alive.
Exactly. Yes. With the bones of my
sound
enemies.
Of cloud kill.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
no.
how would you guys like to try and traverse?
Oh wait, how low on the wall does the hole go?
It's like a triangle, so you guys could actually try and like come across it. It's a complete wedge, basically. So it's sloped down
Wait,
now.
what does the wall look like?
Oh,
Not
the wall's
the top
fine.
of it.
I'm sorry. The wall to your left.
Like
You have the
we're on
rampart?
top of the wall, right?
Yes, you have the rampart and what would have been. Where the fuck's the camera? You have the wall and the rampart, and you blew out what they were standing on.
I'm in front of you.
So it's now like this.
Okay. All right. So like this is where we're standing, and this is like the wall going down into the city.
Yep.
20
20 feet across. Another.
But this wall here, is it how broken is that? Like, is it like all the way to the ground? Like how big is this crater? How deep is the crater is what I'm really asking, I guess.
Okay. See this guy? It's basically this guy ain't there, but there's still a wall. So you still have this guy, like, out here.
Okay. So I'm going to walk on the wall
Oh, motherfucker.
I'm gonna take my rope and I hand it to Uzo. Hold this. And I'll take the other end and I'm just going to walk on the wall to the other side.
Using what, Ryan?
My cloak of arachnophobia.
I hate you, as it works.
I'm still attuned to it.
Yep. Mazel goes to the other side. He holds the rope, and you guys now have a way of getting across.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna cross.
Ralia just misty steps across.
I cross.
All right. The group crosses, and you now are at the backside where the individuals are trying to get up the wall. There are Cobalt soldiers. They are fighting off. You guys easily dispatch the Cobalts on the back that are trying to knock off the individuals of the Lin Ryu coming up. The Druids are making work on their pathway. As you can see, just boats and boats of soldiers waiting there. You see many of them holding glaives up, the ones that are waiting for the infantry. They have just all these very much, think of the Chinese, I forget which dynasty, but very much those type of warfare, of that type of dress to them. The way the blades are curved and etched all around, the way the colorings and how they always have these like swirls and spirals all around them of design. It's very much in that vein. All waiting, as you just see on the deck, just hundreds and hundreds of them. They have their shields up too, so they're all waiting there, shields up, all of them holding with concentrations with their masks behind them as arrows are raining down from the Cobalt wolves, unflinching, unworried about the arrows hitting shot after shot into their shields.
I like these guys.
How would the group like to try and aid in getting them up at this point?
Is there not another winch?
There's definitely not another winch. This is the side, it's basically the backside of Neverwinter, and there's just a cliffside in the ocean. They don't even need to bother with security, so they thought, because no one could possibly climb these walls.
So it's just a big wall.
Yeah, so like, I want to see if my players can be creative, or you can wait it out and let them get up here eventually.
Mr. Gorbachev,
You guys have
tear down this wall.
because I can Ronald Reagan this wall right now.
Yeah.
Do it, you won't.
Aren't they on the wall? You gotta be careful here.
Do you guys have any ideas?
I mean, this sounds like a job
Wait,
for
wait, where are they
something
getting shot
a
from?
spell you would have.
I'm just gonna nuke this thing.
I'd say get to an area where there's none of our forces on the wall, and just like collapse it.
Yeah,
if you
that
can.
works for me.
That's what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
going to do.
but definitely make sure nobody's on the wall.
I'm
Important.
going to Firestorm at 7th level.
Oh, shit! All right. What does Firestorm do?
Well, you see, Reed, it's a storm of fire.
Yeah, it sounds right, but like I'd like a little more description about it, just so I can make
So-
sure I say it right.
Sheets of roaring flames appear in the locations that I desire. I'm going to concentrate all the roaring flames that are up to 10-foot cubes. I'm stacking them all on top of each other, and I'm just going to slam it into the wall as hard as I can. Just radiant fire burning into the wall, and that is going to be 7d10 damage.
All right.
That's gonna be 43 damage to the wall.
That's solid. So you're able to crumble a bunch of the wall, closing the gap to the distance. You're not able to do quite enough damage to completely ease the gap, because this is a wall and it is made to keep people out. It's made to take massive damage, but did not expect it from the top the way it's coming down. You crush into this wall. The fire burns through. The rock crumbles into the city and past into the ocean. Dodging out of the way are some of the druids below as they see this, but instead of seeing what would be just another like 100 feet or so of work, you've crunched it down to about 20 feet. You've now cut down their time to take to get into here from another 2, 3, 4 hours to maybe 30 minutes. They're going to be within the city.
Nice. That's helpful.
You hear all sorts of alarms and panic going out through Neverwinter as the wall is collapsing. You see more red smoke shoot up by where you guys are to identify where the group is. A rain of arrows comes down against your group. That is 17 points of piercing damage as the arrows clack into the wall. Hundreds of arrows shot towards you guys, just as a splatter panic trying to knock you guys off the ramparts.
Uncanny dog.
Of course. Of course. Aerie takes like 1 or 2 arrows, goes over the side of the wall and just holding onto the top of the ramparts, waiting as the arrows are hitting, and then comes back over. Ulazar holding his shield out, trying to withstand the attack. Raleigh is standing in front of all of her all of her skeletons. She'll take half damage on that. Because she literally has a whole bunch of them. And she can heal herself too.
Where are the arrows coming from that are shooting down at the guys climbing the wall?
You killed them already.
Oh, okay.
For the sake of brevity, so we didn't have to do that again. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, I was like, if they're on the ramparts, we should take them out.
You did. Easy enough. And then you were solving the problem, which you solved in glorious fashion. Do you want to wait the next 30 minutes or still try and contribute?
At this point, my contribution is going to be more shooting at the forces inside the wall to cover for the people breaking down the remainder.
Same here.
Absolutely. So I want you guys to start making attack rolls as you see individuals trying to set up a barricade on the back, completely taken by seeing this crack in the wall, seeing the sun. Literally, the dawn is rising where the crack in the wall is that Ulazal just made, and it's blinding the forces setting up as the Lin Ryu are about to break through.
How many attack rolls do you want?
Just start with like your normal 3 attack rolls. Aerie, how many you have in a turn? I think it's 1.
I only have 1.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it
So
straight.
13.
13.
Or sorry, 16.
16 will hit.
31, 16, and 21.
All those are hit. So as the arrows, you see them go, you see this beautiful arc because it's at such a distance. The arrow, you can follow it all the way until it's landing and cracking into individuals, piercing their armors, hitting into necks. People that are running in the street, almost like Private Ryan style when he's on top of the clock tower. And you just see soldiers getting shot and pushed down. Bellona's taking shot after shot.
So there were a bunch of guys climbing up the wall, not where Zach made that giant crater, right?
Yes.
Who's Zach?
Ulazal.
Thank
Sorry. So if there's guys climbing up there, I'm gonna try to help as much as I can. The rope's not like the entire length of the thing, but they can start climbing, and then I can get a rope down there to maybe speed up their climbing.
Absolutely. So you
So
put
I'll
the rope
tie
down.
I'll tie it at the top so it's nice and secure,
You got it.
and I'll throw the rope down to him.
You see, you throw the rope down, you see one of the Lin Ryu look up to you, and he doesn't quite recognize you. Give me some sort of persuasion check to see if he understands what's happening.
I'll be like, let's kick some Cobalt skulls.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll. Gotta make you do it.
All right. Ooh, not bad. Persuasion.
Yeah.
That's probably not good. 12.
12. You see this massive tricep grip this rope and start climbing up that rope as the other ones start following suit. All these, and the ones coming up this are
And
all...
I'll help them all up. Like when they get to the top, I'll give them my hand and pull them up so
They don't
so it's
need
nice
your
and easy.
hand.
As he comes over, you feel the first guy that comes over the wall, this strong grip.
Yes.
This is like, even you're like, Jesus, dude, all right, easy.
One of those guys.
This
But
one
like,
is
they're all that guy.
deep. He's in his deep purple. And
It's an
blue.
army of that guy.
And you see as he comes over and he looks to you and he goes, "Chosen?
That's right.
You couldn't come at better time. I am Dame Ray Tetrasa. Thank you for your
Master.
service.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Let's finish this."
Let's do it.
And at that, you see him go on like basically the 90-degree angle of the wall here and just starts running down the wall, taking the momentum.
Oh,
He just
It's just,
and as the next one comes over, they are following suit, and you see them basically just running down the wall. These
one of those
Linryu.
shoots. What the hell?
So that's happening. 10 minutes go by, 20 minutes go by, the 30 minutes is coming by. If anybody else doesn't want to do anything else,
shoot the flare.
you shoot the flare up into the sky, and you can hear cheers resounding. It's so loud from the forces, even though it's like the entirety of the city away from you guys, you can just hear the siege and the surge of this war. The excitement is building and the panic within the Cobalt ranks. The line is being broken immediately as Eri and Bellona are putting arrow shot after arrow shot into the crowd right now. You can see one, like the Linryu that went down the wall, like they basically disappeared. Like, where are they? And it's not at like the first or second or third checkpoints that they were saving from this wall that they were setting up, but where the command post is, where a lot of commanders are shouting orders. You see these shuriken stars just 3 into the side of the guy's armor as he takes the helmet off, arrow right through his head. And as they're coming out from the houses beside them, you see an individual bring its arms back, and this big gust of wind shocks these individuals back. Another one kicks its foot out, and ice streaks out. And then the individuals have their curved swords, and they start cutting through as they're fighting behind. And as these individuals turn around to see their commanding officers being taken out, that's when the Linryu start breaking through. And you hear their shouts and their chants familiar to Bellona and Ralia inside the lands of Atet, but in a language the Tool is unfamiliar with, as they start singing one of their creeds, as each of them are taking their shields forward now, and the shields above them, so all the arrows aren't hitting them and they're completely covered on sides, as this just force about like 100 long, 50 back is just marching and rushing into the streets, barreling through the barricades and coming over and overwhelming the Cobalt forces right now. You can clearly see where you're at. The Cobalt forces remobilizing, and as the plan was drawn up, you can see this big coalition of resources toward the capital inside the town, where most likely Dazgalt Neverwinter is hiding. So, your last objective is a rally to get to the final rally point here to punch through. Where's my notes? Get this to go away. You guys have to make your way there. Give me some survival checks to get through the war-torn. After about 20 minutes pass of the Linryu coming through.
Natural 20.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, Ryan.
15.
21.
Both of you.
Yeah. Natural 20 for a 28.
25.
Oh, we're surviving.
You're
out
good.
here.
The group is navigating just fine. As you reconnect with your forces, as you're going through the streets, you're able to finally come off the ramparts, and you're finally feeling the fog of war that's going on. You can see that with the Linryu, there seems to be this strong honor code among them, that they're not like bursting into houses that you were seeing still with the Northerners or the Waterdeep soldiers. They are making sure to avoid any confrontations that would be with civilians of any kind, of any sort, as they are just attacking but unmercifully. Like, if any of them try to surrender, they're not letting anyone surrender if they are soldiers. So it's this little counterbalance of it, of a soldier puts its hands up, an arrow's going right through its head. It's not happening. as the Lin Ryu are pushing through the Cobalt forces. You guys go through alleyway and alleyway. Mosno, familiar with the city for the brief time he was in here, taking everybody through Fina as well, really helping guide. Ari using what best navigation tools he has from his cities growing up in Tendorf. You guys are able to navigate and eventually curve around to the front line as the forces meet. The Lin Ryu meet the Northern forces and the Waterdeep forces at this point as the city is being forced back and back. But what you notice when you get to the camps is by the time it takes you to cross the city, the encirclements have already happened. You guys did such a good job. Brian has already pushed forward and Blackstaff already pushed forward with their forces, and they've already punched the circle through. And so now the entrapments are currently happening. What you are greeted with in one of the backline camps, as you see a somewhat bloodied but still fine Calgary come up to you, and he's talking with a whole bunch of individuals, and there's some worry brewing among them as you guys approach. Does anybody want to try and see what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach Ari, you see Calgary look to you, and he points and goes, "Wonderful. Okay, you guys are here. Right now, the city is going to be ours, but it's a matter of when. The Cobalt Wolves have now completely retreated, citizens be damned, as the cowards they are, and they are all hoarded on the capital of Neverwinter right now. They are using everything in their power to make it as fortified as possible. If we don't blow a hole inside this weak point here he shows on the map, we're not going to be able to get into them for days. They're using every bit of magic they have, every bit of druid that they have on them. The good news is with Dazgolt, we planned this attack, so the mages that protect him, that rotate in and out, we know for a fact they don't have long-range teleportation spells. At best, they have dimension doors. There is no escape for him at this point. So the rat is going to try his very best to dig a hole as deep as possible. We need you to help escort one of the northern soldiers into that area with the blast glass that we had, the northern individuals, the northern scientists had produced. Can you guys protect him?
Who is he?
He is a enthusiastic drow soldier that has a score to settle with the Cobalt Wolves. And you see him at the table. You see the drow with his helmet off right now, northern armor, bloodied, and you see him look up and he goes, "Nothing would give me more pleasure than to drive this through the heart of the Cobalt lines."
Let me insight check that.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Hard to tell.
29.
It's Orlith.
Whispers!
You should make a secured whispers chat that you can just bring them over to.
Hey.
I know. We'll get there someday.
Someday. See, there's so much we can do.
Well, let me see. Maybe we can do it right now. Let's see.
Like, I mean, there could be just a whispers text chat if you wanted, but
No.
it would be even easier if you had a voice one. Yeah.
I mean, are you all going to be mature enough where I don't have to lock you out of it?
Yeah.
I mean, for now, you can just, literally just make a second one, and then you can make it in the future secured, so only you have the power to move people into it.
All right. Well, I'm dragging
I think
those all.
we're all adults. I think we would, and you would know if someone joined.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd be like, what the hell?
All right. I just dragged him in there. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. This works now.
Wait, I can hear.
It's fine. Okay. All right. Ulazal, what you notice is the way and tone of the voice is very familiar to you. It is very clear the Cobalt Wolves have killed family related to this individual. With a 29, he wants to settle the score in the biggest way possible.
Okay, so I would deem this as a trustworthy individual.
This guy wants nothing more to destroy the Cobalt Wolves. He is super trustworthy. At a 29, uber trust.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The DM and see what he thinks.
What's that?
I was just saying, since I had a critical success, a natural 20 on a survival check.
Yeah.
I can't be killed for 24 hours, right?
That's a good rule.
No.
critical success on survival. I can't die.
That's not how that works at all. You're really, as you're bleeding out on the ground, Mosno, you still can notice those tracks, and you're like, oh, that's what killed me. Oh my
Oh, I
god.
can tell by these.
As he dies for like the third time.
Guys, it was a fucking owlbear. I thought those things were endangered.
This time it's for real.
Guys, 10 years ago, a squirrel ran through here.
All right, so you see, okay, so Ulazal looks him in the eyes. Ulazal, do you have anything to say?
We'll make sure that happens.
He nods. He puts his helmet on. You see Calgary go, fantastic. We're going to do our best to keep everything off you as best we can. You guys should do your best to try and keep him safe. Don't let him take damage. This stuff is still unstable. The scientists that you met, our engineers, haven't quite got it perfectly right, but it can withstand some damage. But like a direct arrow will be bad news for everybody. As you see one of the familiar scientists, as he smiles, he's like, see, I'm not the coward. I come to the front lines. As he hands over the explosive to the individual, to the drow, and he goes, that's for you, as he backs up. And you see the drow hold this, and you see him put it in his hands, sort of like a football type of deal, or a rugby, and he's just holding it there.
I'm going to look to him, I'm going to say, like, you stay directly behind him, and I point at Maz now.
You see him nod.
Hey.
All right.
I'll cast Sanctuary on him as well.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
Ooh, there you go.
What does that
That's
do?
good.
That Sanctuary, man.
What does that
What does
do?
it do?
Sanctuary.
Means
It's
if
like
they try
the
to
best
shoot at him,
spell,
they have
yeah.
to make a save, and if they fail, they have to choose somebody else.
Yeah, they have to make a wisdom save of 17, or they have to attack someone else.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay like in front of him at all times and try to give him as much cover as possible.
It only lasts for a minute, so I'm just gonna do it like as we're getting close to the thick of it.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know now that I'm like planning to do that
Yep.
Thick of it.
in the thick of it, unless Ulazal has it prepared.
I
His
don't.
oh well then good. I was gonna say the wisdom modifier is probably better than mine right now, so
Yeah, by one, but I don't know.
Hey, 17's pretty solid.
17 is really good, yeah.
it's not the same as 18 though. You know what I mean?
It's not,
It's
but
not the
like
same.
17's pretty solid. Like 15 is where it's like starts being all right. That's like not bad. And like
just
16's a little bit. 17's pretty good.
Just need another level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Just gotta get that level 10 cleric. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. That's set. I got that. Let me just.
Oh, actually, wait. No, sorry. It's like a while away. I lied. I lied.
Okay.
What?
So I got
I
that.
need, like,
got that
2
set.
more
I got that
levels.
set. Okay.
Oh.
Rip.
Rip.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's level 12. that
Everybody's
you
on
get
board for the
bonus.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calgary looks and goes, if any of you can get high, you'll be able to try and maybe take out archers as well that are going to try and shoot him or prevent anything to punch through. Everyone's very distracted right now with Brian and Blackstaff's forces. You have a clear chance to get through without much resistance, but we don't have a lot of time.
Should I take the carpet?
I've got that on lock, and I'm gonna make my way because
Oh.
as part of my class,
What are you? Sorry.
with the thief class, I don't use climbing. Doesn't cost me extra movement. So
Fantastic. And carpet, you see him go, that'll work. That'll work.
Oh yeah, we're taking to the skies.
I forgot. Is this the first time we're using it?
Yep.
I was like, I forgot we had that. Oh shit.
That was another thing I was thinking for your survival checks. If you could have like insight or like perception, you probably could have got on top of your carpet and then flanked the guys that had their
Yeah.
the back. I was thinking
that
about that
would've been
too
cool.
earlier.
I don't know. The battering ram was pretty fucking awesome.
That was pretty hilarious
that
is
worked
what it
out.
was.
That
so
was
well.
so cool.
Like at the end of it, I just saw Mosnell sitting there with the shield, be like, "Hey, you want this back?" As it's just complete crater around him.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And was all being like,
There
"Thank
you go.
All right.
So
How fast does the carpet go?
It's got a 40 fly speed.
pretty
That's
fast.
Good
With
enough.
2 people on it?
Uh,
I think it could carry.
it can carry up to 1,200 pounds,
Oh.
but its flying speed becomes 20 feet while carrying over 600.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see Calgary look to you. You're one of the best armored up here. You might be best walking beside the individual. You and Mosnell, Ulazal, might be best suited for keeping him safe.
I agree.
Yeah, well, that's all. I'll take to the skies.
I was thinking maybe
I'll
we could
take
just fly him to where he needs to go.
Say that again?
I was thinking maybe we could just fly him to where he needs to go.
Oh. Okay, so that was the caveat of this. We would just dimension door him, but the problem with the blast glass, if it moves too quickly, it's too unstable at the moment. It's going to explode.
Good to know.
There's always a caveat.
Yes. Which was actually lore friendly and reasonable, which was double fun.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, this is new unstable shit that they're like, it works, but don't shake it.
Yeah. Belfina, is she going to go on the carpet, or what is she thinking of doing? Is she going to tail
Belfina
along
can-
somewhere else?
Shapeshift. I'm not
She
taking
could.
her.
She could wild shape. Okay, yeah.
Belfina.
And then Ralia. What do you guys want to do with Ralia?
What are you gonna do?
I think
Are you gonna go on the?
I might take Raleigh, actually.
Ralia should go on the.
Yeah,
Carpet.
That'd be lit.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
take Raleigh on the carpet, I think.
Okay. And you want to wild shape into what?
I think a giant eagle. I think I've done that before.
Nice.
Sure. Let's get after it.
Fucking love Giant
Let's
Eagle.
get it.
We have
Best
it.
choice.
There's
Oh,
like
he's just
this.
gonna be Eldritch blasting. Oh, that's
There's
gonna
just
be-
like eerie quietness as you can hear the circles closing in on the other Cobalt forces, and you have this gap, and you can almost see this line of sight between buildings as the smoke and dust and fires going up, and you can see like the capital, and you see this little route. There's definitely Cobalt soldiers moving out, but you have this line of sight in front of you guys to try and punch through to Neverwinter's castle and try and get this blast glass through before they fortify it.
So I'm gonna try and get up on the rooftops and stay like
Oh.
40 feet ahead of them.
Oh, okay, but we're about to have another skill challenge. Calm your tits. Let's put this over here.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, yes.
Is it the timer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. 7 seconds. Oh, shit.
The 0 is out of
No,
the picture.
wait, I don't see.
Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a
Scoot it
moment.
over.
I'm gonna scoot it in a second. I just gotta get for the music. You have new music.
Oh, it's the song you was playing
Yeah.
earlier? Oh, yeah. Classic.
This guy
Can't go wrong with a classic.
Classic time challenge song.
Oh, it's always this song.
There's only one song that matters.
It's the stressful song.
Sounds
Basically.
like a heartbeat when it starts out, and that just makes it more stressful.
Yeah, baby! All right, before I hit play, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Here we go!
Let's do it.
Okay,
It's going.
where are we going?
All right. As the forces are going through now, first check. As you guys are getting through the halls, arrows start raining down towards you. I need dex checks for both Mosnell and Ulazal for your shields. Both of you were given shields. You already have yours, but Mosnell was also given a shield to guard the drow individual that's going through right now. You can hear the drow right now muttering 2 names over and over as he's moving through right now.
What were you saying about shields?
You have a shield right now for the sake of this. They gave you that to protect him.
Nice.
Dex checks, if you're quick enough to stop the arrows from hitting him.
I got a straight dex.
Yep. Well, yeah.
Yeah, 19.
Sleight of hand.
Oh, sleight of hand? It's probably still 19.
Okay.
Yeah, 19.
Ulazal, what'd you get?
Give me a second. 16.
16, that's good enough. Both you guys, doof, doof, doof. The arrows thump in. You see them head down, saying the names as you guys are going into the streets. Next up, you see archers drawing back up. Give me Aerie and Bellona. Go ahead and try and make attack rolls to see if you can stop them before the next barrage of arrows.
I brought Raleigh with me, so you can never do it too.
Ralia will do a blast as well.
16.
Hits. Ralia misses with all of. Oh no, with probably +8. 2 of them hit.
22.
22 hits.
22.
Hits.
22.
Hits. So everything hits except one of
I get
Ralia's.
22 on all of these. What the hell?
Except
What's
one of
the dice
Ralia's
roller?
Eldritch Blasts. Masno, give me a dex saving throw or a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand check.
One of the arrows got through.
14.
14, just enough. DC, because of the success, goes right into the shield. You crack off the arrow, throw it aside. You keep hearing him muttering these names over and over again. You guys are going further and further into the streets. Give me a perception check from the giant eagle.
I forgot that was me. I know. So that's a 21.
21. You're able to notice some of the movements up ahead. Go ahead and make attack rolls to try and knock some of these guys off the top of the buildings.
Ha ha ha. Wait, I don't know how to attack.
5 minutes, 23 seconds.
It's +5, so it's 17.
Okay, 17 to hit.
Hell yeah! Knocking them off the buildings onto their backs. Give me attack rolls from Ralia, Aerie, and Bellona. Go, 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 go! You see more of them running.
22.
Hit.
Okay.
Ralia hits all of hers.
21.
Hits.
21.
Hits.
24. Okay, it was different.
Oh,
Holy
what a round! Arrows going off, flying onto the carpet. Eagle tearing people off the tops of the rooftops. You're getting closer and closer. You guys are getting the gap. Oh, God, you're killing it. All right. Now you see a caster start to stand up, and you see him starting to try and do some.
I cast silence.
Go for it.
Oh, I would
happened?
also.
He can't speak anymore.
Is there a save or anything, or you just do that?
No,
Can't talk.
it just in a bubble area, it just happens.
You see him trying to use a verbal spell, and nothing seems to be coming out at the moment. Go ahead and make an attack roll against Aerie and Bellona.
16.
Okay, that hits. Oh yeah, caster. Yep.
26.
Hits. Arrows fill him as the shock hits. Popping up from beneath the rubble, Masna, one-armed with your sword, makes some attacks as you see some Cobalt soldiers coming up and trying to hit you guys with spears. Same with you,
Can I be reckless?
Ulazal. What's that?
Can I be reckless?
Yeah, go ahead. Hurry up.
One-handed.
Yep. God, you guys doing so fucking good.
That is a 24.
Hits. Aerie, give me a perception check to get a lay of the land.
And a 21.
Perception, 21.
All right. You can see the movements coming forward. Go ahead and take some shots.
That is a 19 to hit.
Hits.
It's still rolling. 29.
Nice. Shot goes off. Shot goes off. Aerie, you feel pain in your chest as a knife enters in front of you. A familiar knife you see in your chest. Give me dex checks. Arrows shoot down onto Masnel and Ulazal. Aerie,
18.
give me a history check on the knife. Save.
21.
Save. Both save. Give me another attack from the eagle.
That's you. Go.
That is a 13.
That's a 6.
You recognize this as Orhana's knife.
What?
Oh.
Wait a second.
18 as you see the Belfina come around and take out another group of them. You guys are now in the home stretch. The individual is almost at the front. As you turn, Aerie, you hear, "You're next," in the familiar voice of Escott Grandier as he pushes the knife deeper into you.
Wait,
Give me
I
a
have,
dex saving throws right now.
I have blind sight.
Blind sight? Okay.
I can sense any invisible beings within 10 feet of me.
Wasn't invisible. It was a stealth check against his stealth check. He rolled a 28 on his stealth.
Oh.
That's why I made you also roll for that. Give me dex saving throws.
Wait. It doesn't matter if he's stealth. I'm aware of the location of any hidden creature or invisible within 10 feet of me.
Within 10 feet of you?
Yeah.
I'll say threw it in you. Right at the edge of 10 feet then. So we still have a minute 44 going. As you now turn around, you now have Orhana's knife. I'll give you the information for that later. As you take it out of you and you take 7 points of necrotic damage. What was your dex checks?
20.
Save?
Natural 20 for a 30.
Nice. And Masno?
Was there another one?
Yeah.
That's a 19.
19. Jesus, you guys rolled so fucking well during this.
Yeah, I know.
You push right into this
destroy
open
skills challenges.
courtyard. Give me attack rolls from Belfina and Bologna right now. As Ari, give me an attack roll as Escott is lining up with a
32.
crossbow, a bow shot against you right now. As you're now lagged behind on top of the roofs.
32.
Oh, brutal. Okay, yeah, that hits.
A 30 to hit.
Nice, that hits.
Do you want me to do damage?
Yep.
So-
Bologna, what'd you get? Belfina.
9.
9, just missing. One more arrow gets through just as you take the guy out. The arrow gets off. One last dex check from Ulazal. Sleight of hand.
14.
14. It goes through. It actually hits him in the leg. And you see as he stutters, he starts pushing past you guys. He's finally in this little bit of open. Just as he's coming up on the opening, you see him jump forward. Instead of throwing the bomb, he jumps in with the bomb. And you see explosion go off. And just the entire front side of the castle explodes outwards. It starts crumbling to the ground. The entire place just erupts with this noise. That's not very epic.
That doesn't sound like an explosion to me.
As the flames go up high into the air, it's these, just like the glass looks like blue and green and purples. That's the fire that bursts through up into the tops. You see all these soldiers diving out of the way, all the rubble of all these high castles and villas crumbling down to the ground, falling piece by piece. And I need everybody to roll initiative for next week.
So, this is gonna hurt.
Bird.
So,
Okay.
I am using one of my. Well, first of all, I'll do the standard damage.
Yeah.
So that is 16 piercing damage
Yeah.
plus 18 force damage. I utilize my split shot ability to do an extra 3d6 force.
Okay.
And I'm also using one of my cursed arrows of Mansoon.
Sure.
So he needs to make a DC con.
So he dies again. Just keep killing him.
23.
He saves, so he takes 50 necrotic damage.
You got it.
Remember me.
I'll never forget. I've learned what it's like to lose control, and now I know the simple solution to this. It wasn't Brian that's the answer, it's you, the chosen. That's who needs to die.
And then, I need to roll for initiative.
What was the other damage, though? What was the other damage besides the 50? You told me the dice that you were going to roll, but I didn't hear any numbers for the dice.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, 16 piercing damage for the
Thank
dice.
you. You did say that. Okay. Yep.
And then it's 18 force damage between the bonus force and my split shot.
Perfect. All right. You can tell his armor looks different than the last time you saw him as well. It's still very similar, but it looks like it's made of something different when you're looking at him right now. All right.
And then I rolled a 27 for my initiative.
Close.
Guys, the bad guy's learning. Now what do we do?
Wow. All right, just so you're not salty next week, he rolled a 29 on his initiative. I don't need that. All right, so what's everybody else's initiative?
14.
14 for Mosno.
11.
11 for Ulazal.
I think as a giant eagle, I don't have an initiative.
Yeah. It's
You'd still roll.
Okay, so it's a 6.
6. Okay. Dude, Justin, don't you dare be last. It would
It's a
be
19. I promise you.
that would have been a
Hey.
travesty roll.
There he is.
He said, "Don't you dare roll a natural one."
I'll let Luke roll next week, but the temporary I'll have for him right now is 13. 13 plus what? Plus nothing. Oh, that's nice. 13.
Classic lizard.
Uh,
Should have been a blade singer. Nerd.
Nerd.
5, 6, 7, and then.
This is a lot of initiative. Oh, the guys are probably here. We didn't see them.
All right. Next week,
Fine.
we have the fight outside the ruined courtyard of Neverwinter. In the conclusion of the siege of Neverwinter.
And we're fighting Escott again.
Good old Escott.
Hey, nice of him to show up so we can take another ring.
Yeah.
As Escott is talking to you, Ari, right now to close out, he goes, I'm not going to sit upon some cold throne while I let imposters, separatists try and take what is mine. This is the day we set everything right. With an evil grin in his eyes and a glow, that is where we'll end today's session.
Question.
Sure. I'm still ending the session, though.